And there we go. Okay, hopefully it started. Hi, everybody. It's here. The thing you've been waiting for.
It's Frank.
It's Frank.
It's Frank.
Should I wait a couple minutes for for people to filter in? I suppose I should.
Do literally whatever you want.
Oh, god damn it. Yep, I forgot to mute it.
The tradition lives on.
It had to load an ad, so actually I managed to mute it pretty quick. Oh my god, why are there... This is supposed to have ad block. Whatever. Let's see. Is there anything I can do while we wait? I could show you Virgil. Well, no, I think I might show that later. Oh, I could show you the Heaven or Hell and Hell in Hell mode. So you've seen a little bit of Dante Must Die, which means everybody, all the enemies can Devil Trigger. Legendary Dark Knight is a mode that was in the original release, but only for PC because consoles couldn't handle it. And in the special,
too cool.
It's more that it is too big because Legendary Dark Knight, the concept is the enemies are about as hard as Devil Hunter, but there's like 5 times more of them. And there's it's just a giant mess of enemies all the time. And it's more like Dynasty Warriors than Devil May Cry.
Oh, good.
Dynasty May Warriors.
Does it involve everyone ragdolling in opposite directions? Because
I
that is
wish.
definitely the best part.
I mean, there are ragdolls, but they're just called the scarecrows. It's pretty fun, but I don't feel the need to show it off. It's kind of silly. I don't know. As you can see, I've only done 2 missions with it. It's a fun gimmick. Heaven or Hell, you might remember from the previous game, but just in case you don't, I'll give you a very quick reminder.
Oh, is this the everything including you dies in one hit?
Yep.
Isn't that what it says? Yeah.
Yeah, it is the Heaven or Hell, because the Heaven part is that the enemies die in 1 hit, but the Hell part is that you die in 1 hit, and it's pretty silly.
That's a Clovey Town.
Now that I've described it, I guess I will just quickly show it. You just shoot the man in the face, but of course, you also die. Although you'll notice that there's 3 gold orbs now at the top, which are automatically used when I die, and they, there's a reason they put that in. You think, why would they give you 4 chances in a mode where everything dies in 1 hit? That sounds pretty stupid. So this is Hell or Hell mode, where, well, I'll show you. This might not be the best mission to start. There's not enemies at the start. Shit, whatever. We'll see. So this mode is new. I think this was in the original. It's obviously in the special edition. It might not have been in the original. It probably was.
Hell.
So in this mode, well, let's let him attack me. Please? Please? I still die in 1 hit. But the enemies don't. They're at, like, hard difficulty setting.
This is a bad idea.
It's, not as hard as you'd think, because they're not on the hardest difficulty, which is honestly a lot harder. There's a few levels that are arguably harder in this way, but most of the levels are actually easier, because the enemies never have Devil Trigger, and you just... The normal enemies are generally pretty easy to kill in this game, so... without the Devil Triggering and the higher health and the higher aggression from Dante Must Die mode. Because I think they're set at Son of Sparta difficulty. God, it's really hard to talk about this game's difficulty levels.
Because it's all insane.
Where was I? I beat... Oh yeah, I finished by beating Kratos, right? Yeah, that's where I was.
Yeah.
I'm going to try Dante Must Die mode, but the game gets quite a bit harder pretty soon, and I am a little rusty at things that are coming up, so I might switch off it. We'll see. I guess... I'm going to go with the costume that looks kind of like Virgil, I guess. Virgil colors. Is I think
Virgil colors. Virgil.
Hi, Millie!
Hello. Hello.
I'm just to make sure if I am going to do this mode. But, oh yeah, this is one of my least favorite bosses, too. Shit. Oh well. I might embarrass myself on stream. We'll see.
That's fine. Won't be the first time.
For me,
It won't be the first. It'll be the first time I've done it video game related. I mean, on my off Twitch streams, I've definitely embarrassed myself, but that's a different matter.
it said this level is for me.
It's for you. It is. They made it for you specifically.
That's
I actually
sweet.
haven't. I've never been able to play it before because you weren't here. I'm really looking
It's a
forward.
special
to
mode.
This is the weirdest kind of copy protection I've ever seen.
it. Sorry, let me.
You gotta find this guy. Because my French toast.
No, not that one. That one.
So this is actually a world premiere because you've never. There was a point where you walked.
Not
Like,
even the developers can test it.
someone.
I really wish I.
Someone was playing this and you walked by their house briefly and they did get to see it a little bit.
Yeah. Now I really wish we had that like voice clip that rap stations use, like exclusive.
I should mention this area is pretty cool looking. As much as I think this game generally looks pretty bland, like this area is cool. It's not really like famous. It's again kind of a callback to that one place in Devil May Cry 1 where the thing extends out over the ocean, and there's a and that where you fought Credo, it was like circular, but it's still pretty cool.
It oddly reminds me of like buildings you'd see in like Mass Effect, like on like the squid and head people planets. I don't know. Like maybe it's kind of wide open vista.
Oh yeah, right.
Anyways.
Camera control. I think I pointed that out before. This is the place where the elite armored dudes show up. We've already fought them, but this is where they get introduced. In your first playthrough.
Camera. Hello, lizards.
It's a lizard.
It is. They don't know how tails work.
That's how you know they're demons, because they're bad. If they were angel lizards, their tails would come out of the right spot.
It's true.
Nero's just super mad. And for once, there's an enemy attacking you at the end of a cutscene, of their intro cutscene, and then they aren't attacking you when the game starts.
They forgot.
It seems like they did. I'll just keep doing this move, I guess. Oh yeah, the big sword guy can teleport away when he wants to gather up the troops to do an attack. One fun thing, though, which he seems to have done here, is sometimes he doesn't actually set off their team attack, and they will just sit there. You can sometimes make that happen by interrupting it, and like one of the dudes would just sit there. Ooh, here he is again. Buddy? he's good, he's fine.
He's fine. You just want to see how this plays out.
Oop. Go. And this will kill you, and probably you. Yep. Oh, let's see if I can. Oh, I got it. I got the grab. You'll see in a second, but it is. I hope you recognize it. If you buster the big guys, they actually have different buster animations. So, both of the grabs you do on them are Zangief grabs.
It's just good. Yep, there he goes. Yep. Boom.
It's probably.
And that's his super move. Yeah.
Hagar pile driver.
Yeah. Want the spinning pile driver?
That takes me a lot higher than the thing. How do I get this? S? Sorry, I have to bang on this thing for a while, and there's not much to say there.
That's fine. Bonk, 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 bonk.
I take this opportunity to say the theology of this world is really weird. Like, demons are bad, but like if it's a good demon or you're good demons that are fighting demons, then that's holy. Then that's like a good.
Just wait till we get to Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Yeah, the angels and Bayonetta. I still haven't played Bayonetta, but from what little I've seen of the angel designs, it's like, what the hell is going on with these characters? Holy shit.
This is the most pain in the ass. Well, it's the second most pain in the ass hidden orb cast. You have to stand a really specific spot on the tiles. And there's no, unlike most of the rest of them, there's no marker. Do I have to interact with this? Yes, I do. Okay. In order to open up a door behind me, I have to notice that I can't go forward in classic video game fashion.
Yeah, set the flag. That should be an option in like a point-and-click game or something like that, like set flag option.
He doesn't try shooting this switch, though, oddly enough.
But that's the only way to open doors, I thought.
Yeah, you'd think. I mean, maybe it would work to lower this ramp if, like, he just shot it. Anyways, it turns on this death trap, and I think your first time through, you're like, well, I have to go to the stairs. But, like, I don't know why anybody who's ever played a Devil May Cry game would do that when you can just go over here. Like, you don't need to do that. There's a lot more really useless cutscenes in this game. Although I should add, I'm not skipping them. They're really easy. Skipping cutscenes in this game is faster than ever. So, in a way, like, it's not that bad. No, I don't want to target that man. Oh well. That's fine.
Those lasers are freaking out over there.
Yeah, those lasers are super fast, for a reason we'll find out in a second. Oh, damn, nice anti-airs, bro. Sick.
Take that
Wow, I'm getting
Shiva.
destroyed. I actually really find this room difficult. For just this reason. That's gonna hit. Yep. Throw it. Nice, I actually hit the man. So I should add that there's, unlike the normal lance guys, the sword and shield guys, you can't just buster them whenever they're vulnerable. They will block it. You can buster them at 2 times. One is if you actually manage to break their shield off, which is pretty difficult. And mostly you break their shield by bustering it. So, like, you just have to keep bustering them forever. But the other way to do it is if you hit them with a charge shot, you can, when the charge shot explodes, if you time it just right, it'll explode and they'll be vulnerable, and then you can grab them.
Oh, I see.
Anyways.
That kind of like staggers them or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's such a delayed, you have time to set it up, basically. Here's the return of another mechanic that we know and love from all the other games.
Grabby hand?
No grabby
No
hand.
grabby hand.
No grabby hand.
Man, just the fact that he stands around and looks at everything forever just makes him look like really fucking slow, honestly. I don't know if he's supposed to be brooding or if they just didn't know how to make... Like, most games will just pan the camera and be like, you need to go here. But this, it seemed like in this one, they're like, Nero needs to look at the thing, or the player won't know.
Nero kind of gave that a look like, I wonder if this will fit in my ass.
Later.
My demon ass.
I've got to save Kyrie.
I also have a demon ass inclusion to a demon arm, but it's already covered, so it's not a problem.
Anyway, that's the chrono key, and it slows down time. And I don't think it's called the chrono key, whatever. And basically the way you slow down time is you go next to one of these things and you hit any of the... You can hit jump, you can hit buster, you can't hit attack, I guess. Yeah, okay, it's just jump or buster, and it'll activate. I usually buster it. And it's not terribly... It's really powerful in this one, because it's not relying on your devil trigger like it has been in other games to slow down time, but it's it basically only gets used a couple times, but it's a pretty neat gimmick. It's strong enough that they can't really put it too many places, because it's pretty much just a free fight win. So... Doors closed. And the return of another beloved mechanic. What? Ah, shit. I thought I was gonna add. Elevators! Elevators where you fight dudes.
That's any game where you're fighting dudes, they all gotta run an elevator.
Ever since elevator action, it's actually been required.
The elevator action theorem. Where there's an elevator, there's action.
That was actually their tagline.
Yeah.
Their first tagline was in an elevator, no one can hear you scream, but it didn't really work out.
Man, wouldn't it have been so great if while you were fighting these guys in the elevator, it was playing like elevator music versions of Devil May Cry?
That would be the best.
Hey, you're gonna love the next game.
Oh no!
Good.
Let's see if I can... Oh, I only got 5.
Who was it that did the... Was it Ninja Theory? Am I thinking that right?
Yes. Who've
Yeah,
just
that's
released
right.
another game, which I haven't played yet, but it's supposed to be amazing, and I think it... Setsuna's Blade? Or Hellblade, Setsuna's something?
Something like that.
From what I
Let me
know
look
about
up.
it, it seems pretty much... I'll talk about it when I talk about Ninja Theory, because I've only played one of their games, so I'm not a huge expert. But from what I know of them, it seems like the perfect game for them, essentially. From what I know of them and what they like to do in games and what they try to do, it's essentially the perfect game.
Yeah, I haven't played it either, but what I think is cool is that they're like saying like, no, this is a AAA game with AAA graphics, but we're only going to sell it for $30, which I think is really cool.
If you skip that cutscene, you get a brief second of being able to attack these dudes in slow-mo, although it doesn't last. The slow-mo cuts out early for some reason. I think just because it's not really supposed to be on in this room. Why are you not staggered yet? Oh, right, because I'm on... I forgot I was on Dante Must Die mode. Or whatever it's called when you're playing as Nero.
By the way, it's Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, but I like Spooks McDuke's version, Hellblade Sensual Sacrifice. And I choose to believe that that wasn't autocorrect.
Oh, and this elevator does have video game elevator physics, where it shortens or lengthens your jump when it's going up and down. I don't think you ever fight anything on a moving elevator, so it doesn't end up mattering, but...
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Now, in this
He's
fight,
a
you get...
demon, should he just be like, home yeah?
He doesn't know he's a demon! I mean, how would you know?
Well, my litmus test is, do I have a demon arm? Yes, no.
Well, that's kind of right.
That's kind of Ellis. Never mind. I didn't
Demons
say
are a
anything.
race. And imply they're not is racist, also. Probably? I mean, does it count when it's actually literally an evil race? Oh, you're gonna claw me out of that? Dang it.
Smoking sick style!
That's a Christmas card.
Oh, you have to fight a blitz in here. That's right. Hey, buddy. It's kind of tight quarters to fight this dude, but it's not too bad.
Hey
Yeah,
there,
I
I'm
see.
Guy Fieri with my new Smoking Sick Style song.
Oh, did he teleport right as I shot again? No, okay, I'm good. It's hard to double buster him here. Yeah, you can't, actually. The ideal way to beat this guy once his shield is down is to buster him and then immediately jump and air buster him, but the ceiling's short enough in here you can't really do that. So I'm just gonna do it and not get the most style I could.
Yeah, kind of kind of a dick move to put a low ceiling in a Devil May Cry game. Now I'm just gonna launch him up and
Yeah, I'm not the only room that does it.
Ow.
Like, there's a room, I think we were already in it, where there's spikes, and they lower, and then you fight in that room again, and it's like, oh. You can actually see Kyrie up. I've almost never noticed that, actually, but you can see her right here in her cage, I guess. I know you've all been really waiting to see.
That's a little birdhouse. Little lantern house.
And then Nero rescues her from it without incident, and they leave. And that's the end of the game. It's weird.
Huh. Well, that was short. Well, time to go home.
She She's being held up spiritually by her breasts.
That's what they're for.
If I have to kill you to save Kyrie, let's roll.
And that's good. I wanted to kill you anyway. That's not a problem. The boss does straight up attack you. I forgot that for a second. So this boss can vary depending on what he tries to do. It can vary a lot. Okay.
He's a moth.
So,
He's a muffin.
have we fought a version of this guy yet? You've fought him so many times, I actually don't remember. I'm pretty sure we haven't, though.
There was
We fought the window.
Yeah.
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 So he's basically a summoner boss, which makes sense because he's the one who built all these demons.
Yeah, man.
Wait, what? I didn't grab him? Shit.
Exposure to demon energy turned him into an angel, which is also a bug.
So I'm not gonna get hit by that attack, so I'll just tell you what it does. It, Shit, wait, I need to interrupt this attack. This attack he does there, you can interrupt it by hitting him, and you have to, because it will hit the whole screen. When he goes into the center and he's like, time to die, you need to wail him immediately, or he'll hit you. I like this grab, you just shoot or shove a bunch of shit into him. And he has another attack where he says your strength will be mine, and then lunges at you, and if that hits you, he'll actually suck health from you and get a lot of health back.
Why didn't he just, like, become fascinated with the chandelier and he can just hit it then?
I just got it. I was like, I don't get it. Oh, he's doing that attack. Shit, he's not summoning. He summons dog heads and just shoots them out at you sometimes, too.
This is also very Bayonetta-ish, only he doesn't have hair that makes him naked when he's summoning stuff.
Yeah, kinda is.
Oh my god, now I want a version of Bayonetta starring this guy. Like, not in bug form, like the scientist guy. But his hair is like Bayonetta's hair. He does the same thing.
How am I not grabbing this? Jeez, I can't see it. There we go.
Oh hey, it's Turkey Volume Guessing Man!
Oh, this move kind of sucks. He charges up forever and slowly moves towards you, and then he throws it. It kind of ruins the fight, honestly, in a lot of ways. But I'm not sure I can totally describe why. It just totally ruins the tempo. And if he does it over and over, you just kind of can't hit him unless you're so good you can hit him while jump canceling repeatedly, which I'm not. Oh, cool. You're going to show off how annoying it is. Okay, good. I got it.
He knows you're on camera.
Especially in this difficulty level, once he hits below like 30% health, he just spams it and you can't hit him. One time I was just unable to hit him for most of a minute. And if he's got his dogs up, they can get in your way. Anyway. He's a really annoying fight basically entirely because of that move. So they never really say it why, but I guess the Demon Pope can just possess the armor because he made them? I don't know.
Sure, because he's a demon pope.
Or maybe he's actually in the armor, it's not clear. Like a lot of things about this plot, it's like there was more to it. Oh hey, it's the cover of the game. When it reaches out.
Good for it.
Kyrie, I need this necklace back! I've only got 3 days to return it! Dunk.
Yeah, after seeing, after Devil May Cry 3 with Lady, who's, a pretty cool character, Kyrie just doesn't do shit.
She's the
so it's like, are we to
worst.
care?
You have heard more than half her dialogue in the whole game. She's the worst. Oh my god, it's so, it makes me annoyed just to watch her stupid, dumb, vacant face say nothing for an entire scene.
Yeah.
I really hate it.
it's very much the vulnerable, like, gooey-eyed anime girl type crap going, just,
Yeah. That's the whole like, I think one of the things they wanted to do was to make Nero was supposed to be this sort of brooding, more typical, like, I think they wanted to connect with the kids, and they were like, what do kids like? Well, they like anime, so let's make it even more anime.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the goal, because, like, he's way more, like, there's nothing that melodramatic. There's one thing that melodramatic in the entire series until now, and it was the end of one. You know? Like...
Yeah, the Dark Soul with Light shit, yeah.
And, like, that's one moment, and the whole game, like, Dante is not serious, so I guess he can be serious.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, for that, it's weird because that's the only moment in that game where that happens, and the rest of the game just isn't like that. Like, let's make the whole game like that. No, no.
Yeah, and it's because it stands out and it's so weird. It's so cheesy too that it's like oh, that was funny, but it's like you make a character that's just basically that moment. The character is just like no.
Anyways, so those vines earlier, remember, he has a thing that destroys the vines, so he could have just, like, jumped and touched them. But I guess he had to go all the way up. And it's good he did, because that's where Kyrie was anyway, so... like, if he hadn't done that...
You hear Kyrie!
It'd be really great if he went all the way to the other side of the tower, and then, like, looked out the window and was like, oh, god damn it.
Just did, like, a Job, like, oh, come on!
And Agnes is like, I really thought he'd be here by now. Millie has a good question, which is, who is this lady to Nero? And that's a really good question. I mean, obviously, she's his girlfriend, but if you're asking why, I couldn't possibly answer that. And neither could anyone else. She's his girlfriend because she loves him.
Because he's so cool. And he's got a demon arm. He grabs our tatas with his demonic arm.
Also, can I just say I really like the idea of Agnes, like, sitting down at this little chair at this desk and just, like, that's way too small for him. It's way too small for anybody, but especially his freakish frame, like...
It's like the fat twins on the tiny motorbikes.
Oh, yeah. I like to think that he sits down at that in his moth form.
So this is where the more powerful cloak guys get introduced. I think we've already fought them. They're Mephistos? They're Mephistos.
Good one.
Nice.
Nailed it.
I like their masks. They look weird.
Yeah, I like how they look like sort of plague doctors, and then you get rid of the cloaks, and they're just little insects, but the face stays the same. Like, it's really... All the visual enemy designs are really good. Half of them may be taken from Devil May Cry 1, but they're really good. The problem is their gameplay design, and also the visual design of everything else is really kind of boring.
Yeah.
Anyways. Ooh, I'm getting a good... This is probably the fastest way to take them down. Ooh, nice! I broke his cloak, but I think it was outside the wall. So yeah, you can keep jump canceling your snatch move, and that's a really fast way to break their cloak. If you don't use the charge shot.
You can jump cancel my snatch.
Haha!
I don't even know what that means.
Neither do the ladies. A lot of enemies have new behaviors or abilities in Dante Must Die mode. Hold on, my nose is really itchy. I'm sorry, I keep reaching off my controller to scratch it. What this dude gets is pretty much anytime he does an action, he fires 2 of his spikes at you too. Ooh, nice. He has 2 ways he can fire. Sometimes he backs off and does that spike firing thing, which I don't think we've seen yet. He can either fire them all at once and you can just dodge them, or he'll fire them one at a time, and if he does that, you have to knock them away first, so you'll never dodge them. And you're dead. So... I should talk about Nero right now. As much as I feel like there's a lot of criticism to be said that Nero is pretty simple and ultimately really easy, by which I mean, like, It does not take much to master him. He is a little bit more complicated than Dante in Devil May Cry 1, I would say. I mean, mechanically it's a lot harder because of his charge shot and his, like, EX move, constantly timing that right after every slash, but just in terms of, like, doing moves and stringing them together, he's not really very complicated. Like, I feel like I had him mastered pretty early.
I see.
So there's a lot of criticism there, but he feels really fucking good to play. Like, everything is very momentum-based and very... fluid isn't quite the right word, but just very good. It feels super, super satisfying to hit things. Even with a very limited number of attacks, it helps keep things feeling fun and not repetitive.
That's good.
I just want to... Like, they did a really good job on him, and I want to emphasize that for, like... This is probably...
Mark it down.
This is probably the biggest fight we get to actually use the time slow you down on.
I wish that was his name.
You pretty much just have to be careful. I wish you could do it more, because it's super fun to just do silly things. Like, charge shot someone and then chase them up into the air. Nice hit. But it ultimately makes it makes this fight a joke. So, like, I can see why they didn't. You're pretty much only vulnerable for the couple seconds that the thing has to reset for. Oh, and you can even grab the shield dudes, like, really easy. Because they're slow, so they're vulnerable just because you've hit them with your sword, basically.
Like you're making your own task. Slow you down, beat the shit out of them.
Did you just say fuck you?
No, not yet.
I thought he slammed somebody in the ground and went, fuck you!
Well, I don't think so.
Maybe he just thought it.
He's definitely thinking it. He's a very vulgar person. And frankly, I don't think it's acceptable for children to be exposed to this sort of thing.
This is the one weird thing for kids to be exposed to, Devil May Cry.
Breaking his wrenches kind of sucks with the lasers in place. This is really the only time you actually have to interact with these lasers, so I guess they're there to make it annoying to get 100% orbs. We'll put these lasers here. Why don't we put the lasers higher? And, you know, so they can't jump over them. Because if we put them here, it'll be really hard to break our benches.
Bleh.
Please?
Bleh! I forgot about bleh!
Blech.
It's a plot twist, he turns out to be a vampire.
Bleh!
Nero looks exactly like Dante? Not exactly like him. He looks kind of like a young Dante.
He's a tiny Dante. He's Dante, baby.
Oh, hey, remember these things? Rolls of lasers? Fun stuff.
Ooh.
But they give you a time slowly downing machine, so it's actually pretty easy. And there's a secret mission. And let's see which one it is. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I'll show you how awful this is, and then I'll show you... So this is another one where, it looks like you can do this normally, and it is super hard. I need to make it so that the scarecrow here doesn't get hit by those seeds.
Of course.
So that's usually
It's a demon game, after all.
So that's basically how that goes if you don't know the trick. It is done immediately. But you've just recently gotten an ability where you can hold an enemy, and that is what you're supposed to do? So you have to grab him, and then juke out of the way of the first attacks, and then go over here, but not too far over here. Because if you go too far... If you go too far, you will actually go out of bounds, and then you have to go back and carefully eliminate them all. And, I've already won at this point. But I just need to, like, make sure they don't get past. What I'm trying to get at is that the secret missions are a little poorly designed. Oh, and the Scarecrow is also walking towards you, so I guess you can fail if you don't pay attention.
Are you my mommy?
The guy I fought at the beginning of the game was Dante. And we'll get into why Dante's here and what he's up to soon enough. So now we're in a big spinny room, death room, and so we obviously jump down into it. Oops. Really? How am I not charging this up? Whoa. Everything's a lot more aggressive on this difficulty mode, too. In addition to being able to Devil Trigger.
Get you out. Where is that guy? Get him.
This room, it's been good to me so far, but it can be pretty miserable because the dude can just walk into the wall, like this, and stay there. Especially this guy, who can do attacks.
Try to get me now, asshole.
Well, he can do attacks from the wall, like a bunch of them. I've had it so that he goes into the wall and just does like 3 rounds of his big spike summon thing. And like I just can't do anything. There's nothing I can do. Oh, I get to show this. So yeah, this is when he summons multiples of them and you need to hit them out of the way. Although, if you leave only 1 or 2, you can still dodge them. Oh, I get to do this taunt. It's cool. One of the cool things about this taunt is if you look at the rev meter, it will actually move. It won't actually rev up enough to do anything, but it will actually move.
Oh, that's cute.
Anyways, I hope you like the time stopper device, because now we're going to put it inside this machine for some reason. And leave it. I don't know why. It looks like a bigger version of the normal machines, so I don't know why we couldn't just do what we did with the normal machines and punch it to activation, but there you go. Anyways, thankfully someone was like, what if I ever need to get out of this room? I know, I'll just slow down time and jump up the blades. That seems like a reasonable exit.
That's how demons design rooms. Remember, demons are ultimately just concerned with whatever looks the coolest.
It's true, like you're not wrong.
Yeah. Not... I mean, we could put stairs, but that is not nearly metal enough.
Oh, that was a bad time jump. Especially because I was against the ceiling, so I couldn't dodge it. I hit ceiling. Oh, here we go. These dudes like to sort of fly around this area and ignore you for a bit. And that usually means you fight them one at a time, which is nice, because it's sort of a cramped area to fight 4 dudes in. I guess I'll break this thing. These things actually don't need to be broken for orbs. The orbs in this don't count to your orb total at the end of the level. But I'll break them and show you how creepy it is that a bunch of children laugh when you break it.
It is pretty funny.
And on a less interesting note, we're also going to leave behind the feather totem that makes the jump pads activate. Because I guess the only way to use this elevator is to do that. I know we really like the wing talisman. But, oh, there's a real bitch move they pull here. There's actually a blue orb, I've already gotten it, but it's on, like, the 2nd level of things there. And so you can't possibly see it if you're on the ground, but you use the elevator, and you see it as the elevator's going up, and you're in a cutscene.
No!
And you're like, shit! And there's no way to take it back down, of course. That's not a secret. No, I guess there's not a secret mission here. And here's the meeting room we've seen in several cutscenes, and it's kind of cool you get to be here and blow up all the furniture.
That's white. Enter a new room.
Oh, and this is also a room where it becomes very obvious, although we saw it in a cutscene earlier, and we've seen it a couple times, but the soldiers and artificial demons created by the church will fight the natural demons that have come out of the Hellgate. If I leave them alone, the dogs and the soldiers will fight each other some. Although I think I've pissed them all off enough that they'll fight me instead.
See, that's something that I like when they do that in a game in instances where it makes sense, because to me it just kind of takes me out of it a bit if it's like, oh, there's two opposing factions. They don't really care about each other as soon as you enter the room for some reason.
And as far as I can tell,
do that, but...
as far as I can tell, if you do damage to them, they'll actually like shift more focus to you. I'm not sure how intelligent that is, but it's kind of neat.
Yeah, but that makes sense too, because it's like, it would logically, they would say,
Right.
oh, this guy's the bigger threat, we'll go fight this guy, but...
I love when games do that. I love how Doom does that. Like the enemies will fight each other if they like attack each other. And
Yeah.
also, I think it goes by hierarchy. Like I don't think a higher demon, like a lower demon, will attack a higher demon. Like I think, at least in the new game, I think that's true.
You know what game doesn't do that? Final Fantasy 13, that fucking garbage pile of a game.
Oh, you didn't get to see... Sorry, you didn't get to see it too much there. You actually saw it once if you're really paying attention. But the special ability that the dogs get on this difficulty mode is that they do not flinch at all. And it is actually the worst thing in the world, because it means that instead of doing anything interesting, you have to continuously do like 2-hit combos to them and run. Because they also get way more aggressive, so anytime you're on screen, they will be getting ready to attack you. So you pretty much can't stay still and combo them. It's...
Just like bonks the asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a room later on where I'll just pretty much be doing really boring fighting to them for a long time. Oh, this one. There is a trick to this one. So we've did this room before. I pretty much just have to activate the thing and stay on the platform, only this time there's a lot more enemies and it's harder to stay on the platform. But there's a secret to it, and I'm gonna do the secret because it's a pain otherwise. You walk a little bit forward, and then you back up. And then you fight the enemies over here on the starting platform.
Good.
If you don't do this, it's a pain. I don't think it's intentional. It's just that you can go forward and make them spawn and then jump back. And it's way easier than doing the alternative. Whoa, I almost fell off, actually. What they wanted to do was make there enough of these dudes, and they spawn. It's more of them spawn when you kill. They wanted to make it so that the dudes are pretty much always attacking you the whole way. But there's a couple times it goes down to like a 1 square that you have to stand on for a long time. So like, that's actually the worst.
Pretty unfair.
Yeah, and it's also, more importantly, not very fun. Like...
Yeah. It's kind of a thing with just any game where it's like, if the margin of error is so small that I actually have no options, and it's like, that's not really particularly fun.
No.
So, I'm gonna spare you guys. See, look, you can see how it's 1 square out there, and it's there. I have to be dodging these attacks the whole time. I'm gonna spare you. I would have to wait for the entire thing to reset, and then do it again, and it's like a couple minutes long, so I'll spare you and just jump off. Double down! Where are we going? We're going this way. And who are we fighting? Oh, it's the hardest fight in the game! I'm almost
good.
There's a very good chance I'll die on this. We'll see.
You. What are you doing here? Forget it. I don't have time for this.
And neither do I. So I'll cut to the chase.
I really like Dante's antagonist. He's fucking terrifying because he doesn't even give a shit. He's not even trying.
It was originally my brother's. Return it to me, and I'll let you go,
kid. That's how you see me think you're blush a pretty pig when I kick your ass. Helpful hint.
Sword was his brother, boy.
I know, right? So, the first time you play this through, Dante only has his starting weapons. The second time you play this through, Dante has all the weapons that you get with Dante. So he's got all kinds of crazy weapons. And he also has a move where he just jumps up and hits you with a shotgun, which he does if he feels like you're being too much of a bitch. And it pretty much instantly hits you. Like,
Hide from me, will you?
there is a way to cheese him, but I'm going to try not to. Although, really, most of the ways you have... He has basically perfect reflexes if he feels like it, so almost every way you have of fighting him is knowing when you can fight him. If you do any charging attack, he will just... Oh, you got 3 of that. Shit. If you do any charging attack, he will always dodge out of the way and then retaliate with a stinger that will almost basically always hit you.
I do like how he's just kind of walking up to you. Like,
Yeah. Oh, he'll
it's
just...
very Bugs Bunny, like, doesn't give a shit.
And at this point in the fight, he starts using his stances, so he's now in Trickster mode, which means he will dodge a lot better. One of the cheesy things you can do is anytime you get hit, you can immediately Devil Trigger and it'll knock him out of there. He's also really bad at dealing with a powered-up shuffle, which is the jump back thing. Usually, if you attack him on Wake Up, he'll punish you for it, but like, if it's a powered-up shuffle, he kind of doesn't know how to do it. Oh, he's in Royal Guard now, which means he should block everything, but you can grab him. If you keep attacking him, he will do a release, which he tried to do it without attacking. That's interesting. If he can actually counter you with that and basically insta-kill you, like, if he's absorbed enough damage. Everything he does actually works like it does in the game, which is cool.
That's pretty neat. I like when they do things like that.
And I like that when you're on your new game, he's on his new game.
Yeah, I've been killing things too. He's been sitting on his butt.
How? Oh, he's doing the Pandora? He's dead already. Right? Oh, there we go. Maybe I didn't get the explosive shot on him. Whatever. That went okay. I'll explain this G-Strat after this sick fight. Totally sick and rad. Hey, this move where he charges at him with a sword straight forward and then the man smacks him down. Wow, that looks a lot like what Virgil did to Dante. It's crazy.
It is. That's weird.
Anyways, I'm sure it's nothing.
What's the matter?
That's fine.
Quite a glare.
Just coincidence.
You look as if you've just been playing me
Hi,
from the
Montrose.
beginning.
Hello.
That sword was used to separate our world from the demons. I can't
Anyway,
have
it's
something
time
that
to be
kind
Mr.
of powerful
Exposition.
around now, can I? It's gotta stay in the family. I need this. Then keep it.
I love, like...
Now that you're calm
If you
and
really
cool,
look at the series, they pretty consistently portray Dante as irresponsible as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they sort of might want you to think, oh, he was gonna let him keep it the whole time. But it's pretty clear he made that decision literally right then.
Hey. What's your name?
Can't let that power float around. Actually, you look really badass when you use it, so I guess you hold on to it. It's fine.
not a bad name. Neither is yours.
But, uh-oh, guess who was, I guess, hiding in the corner the whole time? Of the plain room? I guess she was
Hiding
just
in the
there?
bush.
Anyways, it's time for a fantastic showdown. Dun, dun. No.
That regal look
No.
suits you.
I dressed to impress.
And there goes that plot line
I'm
entirely.
sure you want to let him go.
So that just never went anywhere.
Figured he could
Yes!
I know it's not my business.
I thought you were gonna
This could get ugly.
do like a big fight with her.
Well,
No,
if the
you
kid-
never fight her.
then I'll just have to go.
Oh
What the
shit!
fuck?
Like, it was just Trish. If you look back, her design actually is similar to Trish's, and I don't just mean she has huge breasts. Like, Gloria has a crisscross, like, thing tying her two halves of her bodice together, which is weird that she's wearing a combat bodice, but whatever.
Not in Devil May Cry universe.
But it mirrors Trish's, like, lightning bolt in her vest.
Yeah.
Things like that. But no, it literally, it's completely meaningless, and actually, it's worse than meaningless, but we'll get to that in a couple levels.
Oh, good.
Because there's something that they don't tell you, but if you think it through, it's like, wait, holy shit, Trish is the worst. And she is, and we'll get to that. And I'm just, let me just some real quick. Hot in here.
He's gonna go punch a wall because he's so mad at Trish right now. Trish, how could you?
Trish, how could you?
Trish, why?
Just to keep the standard of every female character in this game is just the worst. Literally the most useful female character in the whole game is Echidna, the snake demon. Like, she's the only one that does anything resembling useful. At least on screen.
Okay, so Dante and Nero fought because Dante wanted the sword.
Correct.
But then they were done fighting, and Dante was like, "Nah, it's cool. You keep the sword."
Correct.
And Nero like walks off and is like, "We got cool names," and they're like, "Yeah." And then Lady Sia shows up, and Lady Sia's like, "I'm actually Trish," and then they like Dante's like, she's like, "Things might get ugly," and Dante's like, "Yeah, but if the kid sucks, I'll kill him."
Yeah.
And that's it. Am I on track now?
I would add
on
one
point?
thing, which is that, and again, I will say, in part because it's just not told very well, because it's very compressed, by which I mean they're missing stuff. But on a second or third playthrough, you start to see things that I think were intentional. I think Dante was, in part, like, if I beat Nero and take the sword back, then I have the sword. But in part, he's like, is this kid worth it? He's judging this kid. And I think Nero fought well enough that he's like, okay, he can handle the sword, I can leave this to him. And we'll see how that pans out at the end of this level. But give me just 1 second real quick.
But that doesn't make any sense because he doesn't want. It's not like, oh, the sword's really powerful, I don't want it out there. It's like it can open up the world to demons, so I don't want that out there. Like, who matters who has it? Like, Dante's dumb. Dante's dumb.
I can see why he would want Nero to have it, I think. Maybe.
I suppose. Yeah, I guess.
But Nero's a complete
Well, I mean,
stranger with no connections.
Yeah,
Especially
when
not
you-
any
yeah,
blood
exactly.
connections.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you put together the incredibly obvious foreshadowing, I
Yeah.
can see why he'd be like, oh, I can trust her with it.
Well, foreshadowing implies that they ever get around to telling you.
Oh, good. It's that Final Fantasy VIII bullshit.
Anyways, it's time to Wrapped in Glory. Stage is kind of neat. It's got a sort of consistent theme throughout. I kind of like it. I don't know.
The ninth circle.
Oh, is it the Ninth Circle? Sorry, Wrapped in Glory was a different.
That's where a Satan lives.
Hey,
That's true,
man.
actually.
A Satan is there.
Oh, it's demon.
He's the demon.
But we're fighting angels that time. I'm so confused. Are you telling me that the Pope isn't the good guy in this?
Hey, Missy Battle Pope. He's a Battle Pope.
Yeah, quick,
Battle
name
is
me
a
a video game where the church is a good guy that isn't Dragon Quest. You done? Yeah, me either.
Bible Adventures, asshole.
Actually, that church still isn't a good guy in that, but they think it is.
Well, I mean, that's later. I mean, I've heard in 8, I don't know the exact storyline, but I've heard in 8 things happen, but I don't know, so don't spoil it. But before that, it's just a nice place you save, so that's fine. I don't know, maybe
Oh no,
in
I meant
7.
in Bible Adventures.
Oh, in Bible Adventures.
Because I'm an atheist, and that's the real world church, so it's evil anyway. You see.
Does it count as a church in Kid Icarus? Because I mean, there are angels, but it's like kind of Greek mythology, but not.
No, they're. I mean,
They're
they're
angels.
But they're like Pit. You know, they're like a Hermes type Icarus. You know, they're like Greek angels. You know,
It's true.
like like kind of more. I guess they're like Renaissance style angels, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably
That game was pretty weird. That's a pretty weird game.
Oh, you're way over there. Jesus. Okay, we're doing this now.
A mantra says, "Make it so that every time we look up, we see the glorious crotch of our god." From that big statue in the middle. Pretty good. And 7 got. Oh god! Don't start. I haven't played all the Dragon Quest games. Don't spoil them for me.
Don't you know the rule of streaming? You can't say don't spoil this
know,
game for me, and then everyone will.
I know. I brought this on myself.
You did.
I love Dragon Quest. I've only played through like 2, so you know.
Only played the first one, but it was a process.
Yeah.
I was
that
on
game
level
was tough.
grinding duty. Actually, now that I think about it, I did like how in the Smash Brothers intro for Bayonetta, she does see Pit. She goes, "Another angel. Oh, I must have missed one."
Oh, wait.
She tries to kill him.
We're at a puzzle.
Oh, we're at a puzzle.
Proceeding
Really good
alone
Devil May
is
Cry puzzle.
strictly prohibited, is our clue. And if we go on the button, we can't get through. We have to use we have to use the buster on the man and get him on the button.
Yeah. Very intricate puzzle.
Yeah, really tough.
Silent Hill's got nothing on this game.
The Talos principle, more like the Nero principle.
Portal can get the fuck out, everyone.
Portal, more like Snortle.
Snortle.
What the? Whoa. Those orbs warped in from the lower right side of the screen. What the fuck? Absolutely. That's so weird. I've never seen that. I guess they spawned somewhere else. Anyway. So this is kind of the only stage where your Buster jumping ability is anything other than just mashing the button as fast as you can. You have to time it a little bit. These little things get progressively more difficult as we go through. If you fail the first one, it doesn't matter. If you fail the second one, there's a fight. But there's also an item down here, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe I already got it. Are you gonna get hit? You're not gonna get hit. You're just gonna stagger. So I think the tactic you're supposed to use, generally speaking, is to kill the sword dudes first, so that the spear guys go back to being dumb and not coordinated. But the sword dudes have so much more health that you pretty much always have to kill the spear dudes first anyway. You'll end up killing them incidentally. So I almost never go for that, and I just go straight to killing the spear guys. Damn it.
Sorry. Millie Blank said, "Isn't Snortle a Pokemon?" Then Mantra said, "No, Snortle isn't. Snortle is instructions for supermodels." Snort all.
Snort all.
I'm gonna do it like this, right? It's been a while. There we go. It's a little more frustrating than it looks, but it's not that hard. It's mostly just that you've never actually been asked to time your busters until now. Can I just hit the switch through him? I guess I can. That's
Your
interesting.
little Mario Galaxy pull star thing.
You know, I could just leave this dude. Oh no, I can't. I won't lock onto the guys. To the handholds. And I give you a little healing thing over here in this corner. There's nothing else there.
You know, I don't want to cast shade on Nero, but Dante is ridiculous, but everything he does is cool. But there's so much of what you do as Nero that just like, that guy's a dork. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know, just
he's-
his grabby hand, like, I grab my hand and I swing it out and grab hand, and then I run around and then I throw him up and then I throw him up and then I grab hand and then I punch him with my motorcycle sword again and again and again.
Yeah, like Dante knows that he's super cheesy and embraces it, and Nero has no idea. Like, I think
Yeah.
Dante's special power is that he knows the world he's in, and Nero did not get that power. He inherited... I mean, he, very similar to Virgil, has the ability to just make everything more anime around him. Crazy how that works,
Yeah.
how he's so... It's weird that he has an attribute that's similar to Virgil. I'm sure it's not important.
I don't know. It's a coincidence.
I'm sure it's
kinda
nothing.
like- yeah. I mean, I don't know about what the future portends, but Nero kind of feels like they took parts from Dante and Virgil and melded the worst parts of them together.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking, wouldn't that be a great Devil May Cry game where it's like, there's another guy with demon powers, but he actually is just a huge dork. I don't mean like Travis Touchdown, like ironic. I mean just like.
I mean,
"Ah, cool, I
Agnes."
got demon.
I was just about to say Travis Touchdown.
Yeah.
I haven't finished No More Heroes, but the side job stuff really annoyed me. But God, I love
It's
Travis
supposed to,
Touchdown so
in
much.
fairness?
He's so perfect. Sorry. Go
Oh
ahead.
shit! I didn't shoot
Yeah.
it. Ah. So
Okay.
once per fight, if the big sword dude has at least 2 spear dudes, he will get them together and summon a huge fireball that does tons of damage to you. But you can knock it back and insta kill them. And I should have done that with my charge shot, but I didn't for some reason. I don't know. It's hard to tell since I'm looking at it sideways. I'm not sure why that didn't work. I'll probably cancel show that off later, but it's probably the most efficient way to kill them is just wait for them to do that. Oh, I caught him on the fall down. I'm gonna skip those because those are boring and long. Hands. Oh, I already activated this. So now we've activated it and we can get back down anyone we feel like. I'm just gonna do a couple streaks off the edge. And, oh, these portals take me back to the bottom, and also can take me back here from the bottom. I think the idea is if I fall, I can take them back. But, like, I don't know how you'd fall, honestly. The game doesn't make it easy, so you'd have to really fuck it up.
What if you're just bad at being a demon?
I mean, I guess. Oh, actually, this fight it keeps alternating between spawning scarecrows and spawning sword dudes, and it lasts a really long time, but it's also optional. I'm not gonna...
Yeah.
One thing about that fight that happens almost every time is on the last set of sword dudes, and the sword dudes and the scarecrows are together, and almost inevitably I either accidentally walk into or get hit into the teleport, which starts the whole fight over again when you take it back. So then I'm always like, fuck it, never mind. It happens like almost every time.
That guy's got he's got wings covering his nips. That's nice.
So like us.
I mean, he's the ultimate being. He's got modesty.
Oh, don't look! I'm not decent.
Those who look directly at the demon nips.
Opinion on that one.
How unfortunate.
I don't have to be as fun to know that gun is stupid. Sorry.
Oh no, Kyrie is in the thing.
That sucks.
Kyrie,
Is it not your wish to become one with her?
She's coming out boob first.
Your mortal bodies will combine, melting into
I mean, maybe he knows that's the part Nero likes?
create his form, a thing of utter and pure beauty.
go blow yourself.
I love how vulgar he is. It's
I'm here to save you.
it's endearing, I think.
Trust me.
And it's like, yeah, if you were sort of an outcast teenager who could kill everybody with demon powers, you'd probably swear at everyone too.
Yeah.
Although still incomplete, this is your chance to catch a glimpse.
She doesn't say a word.
No, she says nothing. The whole cutscene.
Gary, your thoughts on this? Oh, you're gone. That's fine.
You might think,
Girl,
oh, she's
girl.
Nero. Nero. You might think, oh, she's in the demon, maybe she's possessed and can't speak. But no.
If she started talking, then that would be the thing that would be weird.
Wait, is a demon possessing you, Kyrie? You're talking.
My god, what have they done to you?
You have a personality.
Hey, so do you guys like
Not
playing
on my watch.
catch up? Because that's what this fight is.
Ooh.
Oh, he already regenerated. Cool.
Oh god, is this like one of those like regenerates? Oh, I hate boss
Yep.
fights like that. Where they? Oh, I hate those.
It's not good. It's not a good fight.
You guys won't get this, but for a while there was a card in Hearthstone where if you only had one of each card in your deck, if you played this one card,
Reno
it would
Jackson.
instantly heal your, yeah, Reno decks. Yeah,
Oh
it
wait,
would
you do get to
instantly
see this. Sorry, this is like one of the best busters. you just cut punch the shit out of an old man. I love it.
Oh, nice.
And it just keeps going.
Like, his body's wiggling.
Already dead.
You know what, I want to make a gif of just that part where he's beating him up and then just out of flash R-atheism, like have R-atheism flash.
Oh damn it! He teleported. Now he's gonna get away.
But yeah,
Dick.
all I was gonna say about Reno decks, basically, if you play this one card, then it fully healed your hero in the card game, and it was so annoying to like fight for so long. He's like, all right, I'm gonna win, and then he plays Reno, and it's just like, well, fuck me. I just uninstall, throw my tablet out the window, like fuck this. So I hate fights like that. Anyways,
Oh, he teleported mid-swing. You dick. Oh, I got him with the charge shot.
good.
Oh, but it does. Oh, I got him. Wow, I got him just in time. So at a certain point of health, I think right here. He does say bullshit there. He says, not interested in your bullshit. He does swear. What a naughty boy.
It just bloop, bloop.
Thunk, thunk, thunk.
Oh man, did.
And if you're devil triggered, he says you better pray for help because you're gonna need it. It's really hard to make that out. Because devil trigger voice is hard to do. If you bust her just right, you can get a free combo on this man. Oh, also, one thing I haven't said is you can toss out, if you're in Devil Trigger, you can toss out these swords by mashing the shot button while you're doing busters. It doesn't do much, but it is visually confusing.
Ooh, well that I like. That's what I'm in it for.
Wrong move. Oh shit, he's gonna hit me with that. Oh no, I'm good. Shoot. Okay, you're gonna go up there. I'm actually pretty bad at timing this counter, so I hope I don't screw it up. Yep, like that. Wait, what? I shouldn't have got hit by that. I was right underneath him. Man, I might actually use a gold orb on this one because I...
How dare you? In the stream now.
Scrub, get good.
If you time it just right, you can get like the Super Yamato combo on him and it does more, but I haven't timed it right yet, so... You need to be right there when he's vulnerable. Oh, he's not dead yet! You son of a bitch.
Get him, get him!
That's gonna hit. Oh, wow, I timed my Devil Trigger just in time.
Oh, he got one sliver of health.
Yep. And he's totally, but like... There we go. I didn't even have to make him vulnerable to kill him.
Yeah.
Nice. What was it? Just chip damage, or?
Yeah, I think you do a little bit once his shield is down.
Oh, okay. Ooh!
Held back by
Destroy this weird creep in his side trans body.
Still, I must salute a man who carries the blood of
The blood of Sparta? What? Huh.
Fake out.
Huh?
Still presented a harder fight than I'd anticipated.
I'm sure it's
But,
nothing.
the only one with the blood of Sparta was... Huh?
He must mean Dante spilled his blood on him when they fought.
Yeah.
Circumstance presenting, I'd rather choose the option at hand.
Anyway, so to complete the savior, he needs the blood of Sparta. I think not just the blood. Like the body of a Sparta blood person. And I guess he has one now.
That's weird. Why does Nero have the blood of Sparta? That makes no sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. He must like have it in his pocket.
Oh, why did I bring this with me?
Oh, it's this guy! It's Mr. Talkie with no mouth open. He has a mouth, he just never opens it.
Animation is hard.
You have betrayed us.
No, my mute girlfriend, says Montreux in the chat.
Served the dream of a world you spoke of. The savior you preached of.
Well, the Pope's asking my question. Like, why is this? Oh, because of Kyrie. Okay.
Yeah, his sister.
That's true.
He's totally fine with the whole world domination thing, the opening the Hell Gates thing. He's completely on board. He just doesn't want to use his sister. Like... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Because he's fucking dead. I can't believe that Credo is fucking dead.
But he's a demon angel guy. Why doesn't... Like, he can't survive being stabbed?
I guess
Just-
not, because it was with Yamato?
No, it's you.
And in a cutscene. It was in a cutscene.
Oh, yeah, that usually.
Yeah, cutscene damage. It's different. I like the jiggle on Trish there. Good job.
The savior will be completed.
I don't know. I'd wager this kid still got some life in him.
Oh, nice. Punch him into the statue that he's a part of. Solid.
Escape is now impossible.
Way to go, idiot.
If you put him literally anywhere else, you might be good. That's the one thing you didn't want to do. I do like this little exchange, though.
Hey, kid! You giving up so soon?
My options are limited.
Laughs and
So
Pope.
melodramatic. Besides, if you die without giving my sword back, I'm gonna be pissed.
Then come and get it.
What a punk.
This game's so much more fun whenever Dante's on screen.
Oh, I missed you, Dante. I didn't know how much I missed you until I...
Right?
They flipped him off with the demon head. All right, Nero, you're all right. You know what? You know what? Nero, in that one gesture, Nero totally redeemed himself.
That's
Yeah.
what I would use the demon hand for.
Again, it's just when Dante's around. Things are better.
That's,
Even other
that's his
characters are better.
power. He makes everything cooler just by
Yeah.
being...
Anyways, I guess we're like inside the demon is a very metaphysical world. Later it isn't. It's a very solid, like a real place. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, somebody... Yeah, the writer of this, it was like 4:30 on a set on a Friday, and they had just watched End of Evangelion. It's like, let's just do that. Fuck.
Hey, she might say something. Almost.
I hope she takes a breath to say something and it cuts to the next
She
scene.
kind of just did.
I'm a girl.
Shoes! Clothes! Come on!
Get some shoes. No, instead she says thank you. I don't know for what, because he completely fucked up. I don't know what she's thanking him for.
That's the thought that counts. Oh, but he reaches out with his demon hand.
Nero, thank you for loving me, even though I only have 300 words in my vocabulary. Even though I'm actually a chatbot given flesh.
She turned into a particle effect. Oh, he's sad.
Oh.
Yeah, he's sad, and now he's in a terrible nightmare of flesh. Which I guess is the thing's heart.
Now
I will
I'm
let
the
this
boss
play out.
to
I actually
Contra.
need to be right back in like a few minutes. Sorry to do that on stream, but I'll let this cutscene play out.
Oh, fine.
A mantra.
Check it out.
Kiri, please, you need to develop a personality before the game ends.
Taste.
Never. Oh no, the naked man fly away.
Hey,
Gaze at my crotch in
that thing
despair.
going? It's not complete yet, is it?
Dante.
It is in his heart to save the world from chaos. He will begin by driving it out.
Now he has what he needs. Yamato.
Sparta used it to seal the Hellgate from the demon world. The sword is the key to opening the Hellgate. The real Hellgate
Trish.
that lies dormant beneath this city.
The sword that separates the human world from the demon world.
I think you, the son of the Dark Knight Sparta, are
the
the only
real
one who can
Hellgate.
stop the Savior now. Dante.
Looks like you've got a rep to live up to.
Looks that way.
Please, honor one last request. Save them. Kyrie and Nero.
This guy is really not dying.
It's part angel demon.
No. This is totally anime too. Like, oh, the rival or the guy like doesn't like him because his sister, but suddenly they have a real connection because he like sacrifices himself or whatever. Like, it's total anime bullshit.
I'll do it.
Oh, he turned into
I wouldn't want to deny anyone
into-
their dying request.
pollen.
The city and evacuate the people.
Turned into dust.
Hey, is this
Dust
your way of
particles.
ditching and dumping this
You wanna
mess up?
switch?
Effects.
That's cool. Let's stick to the plan.
Oh, hey, Dante's gloves have like a thumb and finger for like I guess for gun shooting.
Kind of fingerless gloves.
He's only like 4 fingers cool. Hey, it's reverse ass. Frank's gonna come back and be happy he got reverse ass.
He did. That's all I've said about Frank. He has reverse ass.
So, how about that Nero?
He a cool guy. I wonder what his connection to Dante and Virgil are. I don't
You
understand.
guys keep asking like you're trying to you act like you're trying to insinuate something. I don't get it. Like, what do you? I don't understand what you guys are insinuating at all. There's no. I mean, they haven't alluded to anything at all. Like, they haven't made any connections.
Yes. How did I don't understand? How did he get the blood? I don't understand. How does he have blood of Sparta?
I mean, yeah, only like 2 people in the series have had the blood of Sparta.
Yeah.
So why does Nero have it?
Yeah. And he got white hair and Kenichi Yamato? How come? How do?
How could?
How could? How could he use? I don't understand.
Hey guys, sorry, someone from work messaged me about something I was supposed to have done already. So...
Did you beat Devil May Cry yet? No!
That actually is my job.
Professional Devil May Cry.
Yes.
Let's player, yeah.
Sass. Anyways.
It's reverse ass.
It's reverse ass. Anyway, so that's the end of the game because Nero died. It's crazy how that
Oh,
works.
that's a sad story.
But first, we get to find out another gimmick about Agnes. He really likes Shakespeare? Or acting?
I mean, he is a moth, so that makes sense.
Acting!
Well, it's literally acting. He likes acting. We'll see more on this later. But he actually likes being a melodramatic actor. Which has not been introduced until now, but it's like another gimmick for this dude.
I thought that's just how he is.
It's also how he is. You know that he's
melodrama in this universe.
This counts as melodrama in this universe. Like, this is, like I said, this is the only dude in the series who is hammier, or at least as hammy as Dante.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to stand out as a ham in this universe, you really got to step it up.
Yeah, I mean, Agnes does. Just his face standing still is, like, enough, but then he says shit like that.
I really think Agnes is the secret protagonist of this game, really.
Could be. I mean, he's pretty great.
What are we, a bunch of Assassin's Creed extras, supposed to do? We're just Assassin's Creed NPCs used to blend in. What are we to do here?
Man, maybe we shouldn't worship demons! Oh, jeez!
I knew that was gonna bite us in the ass one day.
It's like
Knock, knock, motherfucker!
There's like one Christian dude in the town. He's like, I fucking told you guys.
He just stands with his arms crossed, tapping his foot like, I told you!
You all laughed when I built a demon shelter.
I just picture one of them picking up like the Bible, but for demons, and being like, "How could we have known? Nothing predicted." Oh wait, it's right here.
I also like anybody could have put that sword in. Like, there's no way that Agnes was like, "Can I do it? Please, 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 please! I have the speech, please." It's like, all right.
Put me in, coach.
So the savior is saving. Is it the savior saving people from demons?
Yes, correct.
So this is a whole like. So their whole religion is like a big false flag against hell, I guess.
Well,
Like,
as far as I can tell, the goal is like the Pope and a couple other people want to become. They think the way to become angels and bring heaven on earth is essentially to use demonic power to do it.
Oh, okay.
Like, they actually think they're angels. Except probably Agnes, who is just a scientist and wants power. But the rest of them genuinely think they are becoming angels. Like, I think the Pope believes his own shit right here. Except he's actually become a demon. And so, I think in the plan, they knew that they would be releasing a bunch of demons. And that's sort of part of the plan to get demonic power and empower the Savior. They needed to do that. But then also... that's probably why they've been preparing all these, like, soldiers with demon power. So that they can fight the demons and be like, see, we're here to save you. The demons just came in from out of nowhere. And we're here to save you. Ignore the fact that they came out of that pillar that we built, please. Because I think the implication is the pillars have been there since a very long... since Sparta sealed the place originally, like 1 billion years ago or whatever. Or maybe it was only 30 years ago.
So to summarize, demons.
Yeah. So now
Because the story makes perfect sense.
So now it's time to play as the good character.
Yay!
He keeps all of the Proud Souls, so when you first play, you can pretty much buy most of his moves right off the bat. Especially in the Special Edition, where I think you get upgrade points faster. I will be talking about some mechanics some more. I'm going to try and split it up over a couple levels, but...
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit, but first, I think I'm just going to fight a few dudes. Because I think the room I want to show stuff off in is the next room. But what I will tell you is that Dante's... You know, he had 4 styles before that you could select. Now you can select them, switch between them in-game. And that is sort of his core concept, is that you're switching... And he's got a 5th style called Dark Slayer, which you unlock later, but I already have it, which is using Yamato. So you select it with the D-pad, and to select Dark Slayer, you double tap a direction. And full warning, Dante is probably the most complicated character to play in any action game, and it has been a week since I played him, so I might be a little rusty. We'll see how this goes. But I'll just fight with him for a bit first, and then we will, and then I'll describe what I'm actually doing. I promise.
Like reverse Metal Gear Solid 2. Thought you were going to be playing as a new guy. Now you're playing as Dante!
Wait, this game is nothing like Metal Gear Solid 2. How dare you? It's just a game where the protagonist that everybody knows from another game and likes way better instead is there, but instead you actually play as the young guy who's got a ninja sword.
Right.
And nobody likes as much as the main character.
You're just throwing every weapon in the universe against these guys.
Yeah, that's his other thing, is that he can switch... He has 3 guns and 3 swords, and he can switch between all of them at any time as well.
I mean, I'm sure you're doing well. This looks like Fighter Maker to me.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous, honestly. And, I mean, I will at some point, probably next time, show some YouTube videos that show what you can actually do. The depth on Dante is such that, people are still getting better at him. Like,
Wow.
like, it's kind of ridiculous how... There are moves I cannot even do once. That they can do hundreds of times. That have to do mostly with canceling moves into moves and giving them really weird properties. You can't... Oh, that's right. They don't let you go back because it's been raised. I'm gonna go into the next room and kill the dudes in there and show everything off. Oh, this room is where you, this is where you're first supposed to get introduced to the Mega Scarecrows. And
Oh, okay.
you'll see that they get a really intimidating introduction.
That's good.
Even though they're basically just giant punching bags.
I'd said recently in, someone had asked me if you could hand off any Nintendo property off to any other third party, what would it be? And I said, give the Mario series to Kamiya.
Oh, totally.
And tell them you can do literally whatever you want with this. Like, no, the sky's the limit, just do whatever you want. And so now I'm imagining this kind of thing for a Goomba. These weak-ass enemies just jump in and start flipping off the walls and stuff.
What? Oh, he broke through it. Please stop. Wow, that's more damage than I've ever taken from that move. I am out of practice.
I can tell.
These dudes can do a lot of damage if you let them actually do their moves, in all fairness.
I think I've said it before in another stream, but I think the byline to any Devil May Cry game should be, well, except for 2, I guess. But Devil May Cry, this is what your parents think video games actually, every video game is. Millie says it's the Wheelers from Return to Oz, totally.
Oh, shit, he's gonna hit me. Oh, no, he didn't. He was too far away. I thought he was too far away, but he did the move anyway. So he thought he was
Also, I missed it, but I like during our whole, like, asking about the explanation of the story. Mantra's just like, it's a really stupid plan, okay?
Oh, ah, damn it, I still screw that up.
Oh my god, in PTIC pot, it says, I don't know what this is in context of, but RPG Maker in the streets, but Fighter Maker in the sheets.
That would be the most intense sex of all time.
Okay. So this nice big circular room is where I'm going to stand around and talk about mechanics for a really long time, because I know everyone really likes that, but I've got a brain disease that makes me do it. So originally you would only start with your sword, and your shotgun and pistols, and you'd get the other three weapons along the way. But Dante's based around having all of his weapons and using them, so honestly, your first time through, it's kind of miserable until you get some of them, because you're just sort of missing parts of your... Like, if you're in the air, you have nothing that hits forward, and if you're on the ground, like, you don't have anything that does a lot of damage until you get the gloves, and... I don't know. So there's no real practical way to say, like, oh, I'll get them as I go. So I'll just sort of describe everything here. First, I guess I'll start with styles. Trickster is probably better. Most of the styles are worse, since you can select them at any time, but Trickster is probably better than it was in the first game. You can only do one dash on the ground now, but the ground dash was always shit anyway. The midair dash seems a lot better to me, especially because other things don't have as much invincibility. And you start with a move, which it doesn't work really well without an enemy, but your air trick move, where you teleport right towards an enemy, seems better than it was in 3. And that's pretty much all you have with Trickster, but those teleporting towards somebody and dodging in midair are both really, really powerful, so that's all you need. Oh, right, if you do a ground dodge into an enemy, you will jump off, you will run up them and go up into the air. It's totally useless, but it looks cool. Royal Guard is pretty much the same, but really garbage. So it works essentially the same, where you want to block at the right time. Jumping in midair doesn't seem to work as well, because a lot of attacks will miss instead of being blocked when you jump. But the really bad thing about it is that the guard... Before, if you perfect block 3 or 4 attacks, you would have your full block gauge full. Right now, if you look on the top... Oh, the top left shows what style I'm in.
Gaudy-ass font, yeah.
Yeah, and that really hard to read font. So under the R, which means Royal Guard, you'll notice that there's a little meter that has, like, one thing. That's the Royal Guard meter. It takes, like... If you play an entire level using only Royal Guard and do your best to block a lot of things, it still probably won't be full by the end of the mission. And it's even full, it does less damage than it did in 3. Like, nice. It still works the same. The one thing you can say about it is that at 0 charge or at very low charge, it does more damage than it did in 3. In 3, it did basically nothing. But in this game, it does something, and there's a few moves that are really good to interrupt with it, because it leaves the enemy vulnerable. So basically what you mostly use Royal Guard for is, like, oh, there's a specific enemy doing that, I better do this. Doing that attack, I better do the release at the right time and counter it, and I'm really bad at it. I won't use Royal Guard much, but it's there. Sometimes I'll use it for blocking, just because it's fun. Oh, and it has one move that is the worst move in the game. If I hold back and hit the style button, I use Juggernaut, which makes me resistant to damage and I won't flinch, but I have to walk slowly, and it uses up my guard meter really, really fast. And if I have no guard meter, it barely lasts any time, and it takes forever to start. And if you ever see me do this move, I've probably done it accidentally, and the only way to cancel the only way to cancel out of it is to switch to Trickster and dash, I think. So you probably see me do that.
It's your dark metamorphosis, just like, oh shit.
Shit, this is terrible. Swordmaster and Gunslinger both give you extra moves for your swords and guns, so I'll just start talking about those. Rebellion is the same old Rebellion that we've had. It's got almost identical movesets. It's got its 3-hit combo, it's got its area combo. Stinger is probably better than ever. And it's got high time, and it's got that, and then with Swordmaster, it gets... This midair combo is really, really good because you can... A really important thing with Dante is jump canceling off enemies. Like, you'll see me do it a lot. You may not notice that I'm doing it, but if you ever see me in the middle of an attack, stop doing that attack in midair, it's because I've jump canceled. And it's really good to do off this, usually the second or third hit of the midair combo here. And the other moves you get from... You can do you can do whatever this fucking move is called. It's been in every game, but it's always really shitty. But you do get 2 extra ones off it now. Oh, and you can do a quick one. If you hit Y and B together, you can do a quick... You can do a slash, and then you do a very quick... Oh, drive. It's called drive. And he also still has his crazy combo move, where you just hit forward and you dash into them. And it's pretty good to start. It ends with a very long and powerful home run hit, which gives you tons of style and a fair bit of damage. It's generally bad because it leaves you vulnerable, but it's often the first couple hits are good just to dash at somebody. The Gilgamesh is basically the standard gauntlets we've had. They can charge all of their attacks. They have a new feature where... Oops, I totally fucked that up. If you let go of the attack button and release it right when you hit a charge level, you'll get a just charge, and it'll be a lot faster and do more damage. I'm kind of bad at it, and it doesn't... Like, you don't charge them that often anyway, but if you do... Let's see. It's easier for this one. There we go. That was one. It gets a little redder and a little faster. That move ordinarily looks like this. It doesn't look hugely noticeable, but it does a lot more damage. Anyway, this thing has a... Instead of having a dash forward move, it has a dash back move that you charge up, and then it's a dash forward move, which is neat. Or you can just dodge out of it. It's got its basic set of combo. The last hit in this combo is incredibly slow, and you don't usually do it, but if you charge it up, it's sort of like if they're vulnerable, it's nice. It's also got this attack, which no longer ends with a bunch of hits, but with a sick double kick thing, I don't know. If you hit forward an attack, you'll do this set of things, which ends with a launcher. It's got a dive kick, which I'll be using it for a lot. Let's see what else to say. Oh yeah, and in Swordmaster, it's got the real impact move, which does 1 billion damage, which can actually be... Well, I'll talk about that probably next level, because I have enough mechanics to do as it is. And then it's got a different uppercut that I won't use as much, but it's a fun sort of... It's a quicker uppercut. It's got this sort of area of effect, and then you can do it in the air. Lucifer is sort of the weird... That's like the weird weapon of the three, and it doesn't really work. It's cool in concept, but so it's like I will mostly what you'll see me use this for is its air attack, because its air attack moves you forward, which makes it super good for shoving yourself into an enemy so you can jump cancel. And like 90% of the time, that is what I will just only be doing this air attack. But to show off its other moves, it's got an endless... If you just hit Y, you'll keep doing this combo forever. And I guess if you're brand new, there's some enemies you can just do this forever on them. And if you pause at certain times in the combo, you'll do different abilities. Like if I pause here, I'll shoot a bunch backwards. And if I pause there, I'll do a more powerful, longer hit. And if I pause here, then I'll shove a whole bunch in and then end with a launcher. You may be noticing that I'm leaving a lot of these red dagger flowers around. And those can stick in enemies and they'll stay, or they can just float in the air, and if an enemy walks into them, they'll stay. Oh, I also have this move, which puts out a bunch of daggers right away.
Do they home in on them, or do they just shoot forward?
No, they just shoot. They go into the air wherever they are. If I hit an enemy directly with that move, it will go into the enemy and stick there. Okay. But the special... So they'll explode after a while, or I can hit back and attack, throw the rose that is in my mouth. By the way, there's a rose in his mouth when he has this weapon on. Throw the rose in his mouth in a move called Ecstasy, because all of these moves are sexual move names.
Once again, the Bayonetta connection.
Yep. And it'll make all of them explode right away, which... If they've got like 3 or 4, it will stagger and launch them, and it's good. And its Swordmaster moves I will almost never use, so I'll just show them now. It basically repositions the swords in different ways. You can lock onto an enemy and pierce. You can make them hover around you. These are basically Virgil's dagger moves, by the way. They're the same moves. Or you can... Oops. You can clap, and they'll reposition themselves around you. Any spare ones that are floating around will position around you and explode, which will launch enemies everywhere. It's pretty cool. I'm going to call it there and explain the guns next level, because this is probably a bit too much. And then I'll explain some extra stuff the level after that.
What?
Thank you, Professor West.
You're welcome. There will be a test later. Anyways, this is why...
Shit.
So the reason Nero left all that stuff around is so Dante could pick it up.
Oh, of course.
So if you remember, this is where you would get the blue orb, but you probably don't remember. And you also might not have double jump at this point. God's power no longer resides here, which is pretty intense. So this mission is Metroid. You gotta get out. Bro, this cutscene doesn't...
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, pretty much. I have less than 10 minutes to escape. Let's see. Do I want to go across? Nah, I'll fight this fight. What the hell? We'll see. We'll see where I'm at. Wait, what? Oh, I can't pick... I already have maximum gold orbs. So you can, if you... There's a couple different ways you can actually get across that gap using certain abilities, but it skips this fight, and I figured, what the hell? I'll do the fight.
Alright.
Might as well.
Oh, I didn't show Dark Slayer. Well, whatever, I'll do that next.
Oh no, I won't be able to follow what's going on.
Yeah, you'll never know.
Yeah.
What? He's not.
Shenanigans.
Fighting these guys with Dante can be kind of a pain because they can just flip out of any of your air combos, and Dante kind of needs air combos. In general, Dante does a lot less damage and has a lot less ability to hit multiple people. Like, that is absolutely his weakness compared to Nero. Dante has almost no abilities that will hit more than one dude.
Next to one-on-one.
He basically has to take a series of very fast one-on-ones, and when things are tough, he has to constantly switch and peck away at people while dodging and blocking and whatnot. Because he's much better at that, with the ability to trickster and then... And where Nero has like 4 or 5 moves that are kind of the keys to everything, Dante has a bunch of moves that are really good in certain scenarios. Like, these dudes, Dante can't just charge up a charge shot and instantly knock off their cloaks. But if he goes shotgun and does a shotgun move right in the middle of them, which I failed to do perfectly, I did it mostly, he can still knock them out right away. And knock off their cloaks. He can actually knock off their cloaks faster if he does everything right. Oops. I always forget you can actually get the...
Oh, sorry.
No. You should talk anytime I'm not talking. Because I'm talking.
I like how Dante yells out the name of the style that he's going to sword! Trick!
Yeah, he actually has a different thing to say and animation to play depending on if he's standing still or moving.
Yeah, I saw you doing some when you were doing the mechanics. He was like,
oh yeah,
you did some motions. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I should show that off, but not while it's timed, I guess. So they didn't want to give Dante the ability to slow down time, so instead they just made it speed up time until the thing breaks. I guess Dante figures he's powerful enough. And they did a good thing here.
He wants a challenge.
I should say, actually, well, time has paused for just a second. One of the reasons they picked Nero as the main character was they were like, Dante's really fucking powerful at this point. Like, we can't let the player play as someone that powerful. Like, their main goal and differential was like Nero's very simple and has like a lot of like he's a young dude. He's very powerful. He's like brute force, but he's completely inelegant. And Dante, your first time you use him, you'll get your ass kicked because you don't know what you're doing. But if you're good with him, he's probably like one of the most ridiculous characters in games. Like, you can get to the point where you are doing tons of damage all the time and never getting hit, and you aren't even a fifth of the way to mastering him. So, like, it's kind of absurd. And I think, I mean, that they deliberately set out to do
kind of
that.
absurd.
They were like, okay, since Dante's not the main character, and since we want to convey that he's basically just the ultimate badass and could do all of this really easily if he felt like it, we are going to, Oh, Dante can just dash through these. you can slow down time to get past them, but you can also just dash through them. They're like, it frees us up to make Dante an incredibly powerful character if the user is good enough. But the user has to be good at piloting them.
So, they wanted to make a game about Superman, but they realized to do that, they had to start you off as Jimmy Olsen.
Yes.
I would play that game.
Well, to be fair, I would say it's more like starting you off as
Super
Steel.
Dick the game, yes. Sorry. Sorry, what was that?
I would say it's more like starting you off as Steel, but
Jimmy Olsen was funnier, so I know.
it's true. Jimmy Olsen's always funnier. Oh, you're not dead yet? There you go. Oh, damn, you knocked me out of the way so I didn't block it. Very clever, except it's not intentional. Oh, you're over there, huh? Oh,
Mills, I suspect the reason they didn't just start off the game being almost impossible for that would be because a lot of people I think would just start it and then quit and be like, oh, I can't figure this out at all. This is way too complicated. Goodbye, game.
Why are you guys over there? Why are you running? Where are you running, bro?
Run away from you. You're a scared demon man. D-man.
Oh, he just did a really good
D-man.
move. So sometimes when he launches those dudes at you, he'll launch them really fast, so fast that they'll hit the wall behind you and instantly die. So it's actually really good for you when he does that, because he just kills the dudes with him. Oops, I had the wrong fucking style equipped. I'll do that a lot. Every once in a while, someone will be really vulnerable and I'll be ready to hit them, and I'll just sort of dash away for absolutely no reason. And it's because I've hit the wrong button. Because there are about 1 million buttons I'm hitting. Oh, you dodged, huh? Sometimes I forget how much health those jokes have. So, technically, I could leave out that door and leave right now. But if I want to get all the orbs... Oh, God. There you go. There's a few things to do. And there's an orb... There's a... what do you call it? Whatever the statues are called, where you... Whoops! Shit, I'm not sure I have enough time to do it, but I will try. There's a style statue that I have to get if I want to get all of Dante's shit. Although I've already done it, but I'll try and get to it and show it off in time. In part because it's really fun to fight this slowdown room with Dante.
I'd expect so.
He can kind of already go super fast, so...
Montrose has some good ideas here. Have Dante take on the challenges of academia. To defeat the enemy, he has to draft a 50-page research proposal with budget and parameters for the next 10 years.
Oh,
But
shit.
like, do it really cool, right?
Yeah.
One thing about Dante hitting these swords, and actually every character who isn't Nero, and this is new for the special edition, if he hits the swords while they are spinning or getting ready to attack, they will launch themselves away so they can hit other enemies. I think this was done because without it, Dante doesn't have a way to use those swords against enemies, and they thought that it was a fun thing to use those swords against enemies.
I see. So a Steve Joe type business going on here.
And they had to do it anyway because, at least, because two of the characters in this game have to fight that window fight. And the only way to really do damage is to shoot the swords into the man. So they had to give him the ability to do it anyway.
You know, I know if you're playing this as Dante, like your first time, and you aren't Frank, you don't have, you know, everything unlocked. I know you'd have to, like, oh, you have to buy it and unlock it, or you, like, unlock it later. But with the way you played, with everything unlocked from the get-go, I like to picture that, like, the whole time Nero was running around, Dante was having, like, basically having a version of the Devil May Cry 3 adventure in the background. And, like, all of these weapons are unlocked from, like, demons that talk to him. Like, that whole thing was going on while Nero was like, Kyrie!
I mean, he must... What the hell was he doing? Literally, what has Dante been doing this whole time? He killed the Pope, or he failed to kill the Pope, and then he's like, I'll explain everything to you later. And then he just vanished for a while? Like, I literally... The game doesn't tell you. There's no explanation. I guess he just went and hung out in a coffee shop?
Well, you know, sometimes when you're self-employed, you like set goals for yourself, and it's like, you know, if I kill the Pope today, I can take the rest of the time off.
Holy shit, self-employed Dante's a really hot concept.
I mean, that's basically what he is.
Pretty much.
Yeah, take that, church.
Suck it, church. Whoa, nice camera angle.
Oh, by the way, everyone has to be thinking about what I should be streaming on Halloween, or in October. Night Trap is definitely one, but we need like a good game to complement the disaster of Night Trap. Zarla suggested Off, which I'm not opposed.
Oh, Off is great. I'd love to see you play Off. That's an awesome game.
You order the sword, huh?
Oh, here's the backstory. Here we go.
Yes.
Ooh,
Are you
backstory.
familiar with them?
Sorry.
It's Lady.
It's a small congregation that gathers
Lady.
in the castle town of Fortuna. I guess the only people who would have heard of it are the ones who take
Lady,
interest
please
in this
give
type of
Kyrie
thing.
Like you.
lessons on how to be a character.
She's a much worse character in this game, but she's just less of a character.
Well, from what I can figure, there's a lot of confusion surrounding them.
I love this bit here where it's revealed that Dante doesn't know a fucking thing about his own dad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confusion, Trish.
People who
Hell.
live there today take these legends as truth and worship them, just like a god.
They
Everybody
worship
knows who the brains is in this.
Yeah.
For worship can't be
Relationship.
condemned. But the real problem is the Order. Lately, they've been running amok, catching demons, and have even butted in
There's a
on some of
Beowulf
my
movie
jobs.
poster, like for the monster from the third game.
Not just demons.
That's pretty good.
They've also been targeting
And there's a,
government
like,
agencies,
for
like the ones
dummies
you-
poster with Lady's face on it in the back that I can't make out.
So what?
Well, what if their intentions are foul? And there's a diabolical plan behind these apparently random acts.
Well then, I'd have something to keep me occupied. And Trish,
Oh, that rascal Trish.
Give me my pizza.
She took the sword.
things always gotta be complicated.
So, if you didn't catch that, this plot started... Well, the plot started for Dante when Lady showed up to his place and was like, hey, so the Order of the Sword exists, and they've been... Like, I've been going on demon hunting jobs, but they keep beating me to the punch and taking the devil arms. And... Like, I think that's fucking sketchy. And Dante's like, I don't give a shit. And then she's like, and they worship your dad as a god, and that's really weird. And he's like, I don't care. And then she's like, and you might get to fight some demons? How about that? And he's like, well... And then Trish already took the Sparta sword, which she's just decided is hers. It was her weapon in 2, so I think that's where they get that from. And she's taken it and gone with it. And now you might think, oh, she took that to go fight the demons. But if you think about this, we don't know how long ago that was. It was presumably several months ago. Because she took that sword, and what she did
She's
with
been gone for like 2 years.
Well, like, she was gone for a while because she became Gloria. And earlier, in a cutscene, it was mentioned that the reason that the Pope trusts Gloria is because she brought them the Sparta sword. So she literally just took that sword and gave it to the Order of the Sword to get their trust. But they used that to help open the hell portals. And her trust got us nothing. She literally just gave them the sword for no reason. And it's the stupidest plot point I've ever seen. Like, why did she do that? She gave them the most powerful, one of the two most powerful swords that, like, separates the hell world from the human world, and used that to get into their organization to learn nothing valuable at all. It's the worst. She totally fucked up.
Because she knew that if something went bad, that Dante would just show up and just cool it away. So, she was like, there's really no risk here. Dante will just kill all of them if something bad happens.
I mean, there is kind of an implication that if he wanted to, he could. He literally could have taken Yamato and probably killed the Savior right there. But he's like, I'll let Nero give it a shot. And Nero fucked up, and he's like, no biggie.
I'm Dante, I'm fixed, don't worry.
Whatever.
I love you, Dante. Shut up, baby, I know it.
So, how do you guys feel about the last 11 levels that we've gone through so far as Nero? Would you say that you like them?
Could have been more ridiculous.
I mean, like, the levels themselves.
Like Dante ridiculous.
The levels themselves, like the areas.
The levels themselves?
How did you like them? Would you say you like them enough to go...
to see them again?
Yeah, would you say...
That's right.
That's a good answer, because that's exactly what we're going to be doing for the second half of the game. So remember when I said that they didn't really finish it? Dante is the part they didn't really finish. They were pretty much just like, what do we do with Dante? Shit. There's some indication that very early on he was going to have his own campaign, and he was going to go through, like, he was going to be traveling through hell, and, like, he was going to go do stuff in hell. And that obviously doesn't happen. Instead, he goes through all of Nero's levels and fights all of Nero's bosses. And he just does it backwards, and occasionally with a couple new gimmicks. Speaking of gimmicks,
yay!
this level has a gimmick of being the Lost Woods. So now we're back at the start.
Oh yeah, it's lost. We're back to the Lost Woods again.
Yeah, so that's the only time I'm going to take the wrong path, I hope, unless I actually screw up and take the wrong path. But the first part of this level, you'll just warp around forever until you remember you can jump off here. Okay, good. I didn't screw it up. Dante has a much harder time fighting this dude, because he can't just charge shot the dude's shield off. Oops, that's the wrong move. Come on. There you go. And he doesn't have as easy a job damaging these after. Oh, that dude has way too much health. Well, so I kind of screwed it up, and the dude now he's in red mode, which means he's like super attacking, and he has a charge attack, and if he hits me with it, he will explode and do 1 billion damage to me. But he has way more health than I can actually take out, so I just have to wait for him to explode on his own. There's no point in attacking him. It's kind of lame. Dante doesn't really have the tools to deal with that guy well. Ideally, I take off his... There's a couple moves I can use that can take off his shield that are... I need to set him up just perfectly for them. And, I take off his shield, and then I immediately do this move, and then I do a special thing that makes it do more damage. Which I guess I can start talking about some more mechanics. I'll do the guns right here. So Dante's pistols are pistols. They're pretty much the same pistols they've been. They're a little bit different in that on your first press they'll fire faster for a little bit and then slow down, which encourages more of just tapping them. Let's see. They do have a charge shot. I won't be using it very much. What they get with Gunslinger is they get twosome time. This is from... It's just the one where you aim in all different directions. It's not very good. And if you aim forward and mash the button for a while, he'll super fast fire, but you're planted while doing it, so it's not that great. The only real good move with them is this move, which is really great for... It's great in the middle of combos, it's great to hit things beneath you. There's a couple enemies it really decimates. And there's a couple really advanced techniques you can do with it that I can't possibly do. The shotgun is also pretty similar. It's the shotgun. You can still do the thing where you jump cancel it. And if you jump cancel it off an enemy, you can shoot him really, really fast. And it's got a charge shot, which I might use some. I will use some. And its moves are fireworks, which you've seen. If you get inside the cloak guys and do this, it will remove their cloak instantly. Like if you jump right into the middle of them.
Oh my!
Which is really handy and usually what I'll do. He's got Gunstinger, which is handy but not that great. And he's got a really weird move where if you lock on and hit backwards, he will fire directly behind him. Which, it's just a normal shot. So I don't understand why you wouldn't just turn around and shoot the thing you want to shoot. But I guess you can do that.
It looks so cool.
Cool, yeah.
There is a special
You're not
technique.
thinking like a demon.
If you do the right series of locking on and doing a move, but you're looking the wrong way, you can force him to do a move backwards. And usually that's what people use that for extra style. They make him do the backwards move backwards so it hits forwards and hits the enemy.
My brain.
And then he's got his weird gun, which you don't start with this one.
I wish that's what it was called.
It's called Pandora, and it's Pandora's box, and it is, oh, I can't look at the file. But it is a special high-tech weapon that has 666 forms. And every single one of his attacks is a different form from it, and they all have names like, here, let's see. It's, Epidemic, Pandora Form 124, Hatred, Revenge, Jealousy. It doesn't actually have 666 moves, unfortunately. But, it's basically a rocket launcher. If you hold it, and you tap left, right, left, or right, left, right, then it'll turn into a bazooka that fires 3 things. And if you do that, and then you circle the control stick twice, it will turn into a giant laser. Which, so you'll often see me sort of sit here. What it really means is that I will often take it out and just circle the control stick repeatedly until I get the laser. And its midair attack is a machine gun. And you can't see it. In between my 2 health bars, there's an empty meter. Every time I hit with Pandora, that meter fills up a little bit, and that meter powers its gunslinger moves. So the moves I'm going to be doing right now are going to be very weak, or very short, because they don't have any meter. But basically, he can throw it like a boomerang, and the more meter you have, the longer it lasts. He can do this move, where it opens up, and this spends all your meter at once. And the more meter you have, the more damage it does. It does damage to everybody in the whole area. It doesn't do very much, though. It is mostly useful for removing cloaks from the shadowy guys and removing the shields from the blitzes, the lightning dudes. Because it will remove both of those in just one use, even with no meter. But the main thing to use the meter for is his midair gunslinger move, which is this one, where he takes out a giant missile pod and flies around in an airship. And every missile you shoot uses a little bit of the meter. With no meter, you can only shoot 2. Oh, you can shoot 3, I guess. If you have enough meter, you can hit B and let off a whole salvo of missiles. Oh, and let me show Darkslayer really quick, and then I'll stop for now.
I just looked like it's just a bunch of missiles just come out of.
It's really great to use against a boss because just like a billion missiles come out and fly in all directions and then home on the enemies.
Man, you know, Ezekiel in the Bible didn't mention how the wheel within a wheel was an awesome rocket launcher chair. Rocket launch chair?
Rocket launcher! Oh, shit,
Rocket
we're
launcher.
And in its default form, it's a briefcase, and he carries it over his shoulder, which is
obviously,
fantastic.
why wouldn't he?
Of course. And Darkslayer, which is the 5th style I get by hitting style twice. Oh, let me show all the style things. Trickster, he snaps. Swordmaster, he snaps for most of them. He just does different things. The Darkslayer one is really great because he pretends to be Virgil and slicks his hair back, and then takes his sword out, which is great.
That's funny.
Because it's basically with this one, he's pretending to be Virgil, and he gets a couple moves. He gets a ground combo with Yamato, which he hits twice, and then he takes it out. And if you let this one sheathe while there's enemies around, you'll actually get 1 bar of Devil Trigger back. So you'll sometimes see me do that. And mostly what you see me use Yamato for is its mid-air combo, which is amazing. Its first hit stuns people and is super fast, and then its second hit is just solid damage. It's really nice to go and then to do your combo with your Rebellion, and then switch to Yamato and do that. Oh, and then it's got 2 moves where you... Oops. I have it. Where 2 special moves where you open up... You cut dimension open, and you can either do it near or far, and it's basically just a gigantic area of effect attack that's very slow. And that is all of his moves. And...
Go over 'em one more time. I don't think I caught all that.
Okay. Well, you see, this is his basic sword.
Oh no!
Oh, hey, you ready for my least favorite fight in the entire goddamn game?
Yep.
So, the Chimera Seed lizards, Dante has no good way of quickly dealing with them. And in this difficulty level, they recharge so quickly. Their seeds, when you knock out their seeds, they recharge so fast you don't usually get a chance to hit them. And Dante has to fight 3 of them in this room. And so I'm basically just going to be dodging around and using shotgun, and I will try not to die. Because doing anything else is, like, just not worth it unless you're amazing. I'll sometimes use Stinger, actually. I lied. Oops. Ooh, his thing's broken. Ooh, but man, they're being nice to me. They're actually letting me do stuff. That dude just stayed back. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. He knows I'm streaming.
We'll let you have this one.
Oh, he's dead. Oh, that actually went perfectly fine. I'm kind of surprised. Usually I have to dodge around for a lot longer than that. But they stayed back and played nice. Oh, and there's one move with Trickster I didn't show you. If you get hit, and you switch to Trickster, you can recover in midair. It's the Beautiful Joe thing, basically. Only it doesn't give you health back. The one where you zoom in when you get hit.
Yeah. And then you bounce back.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you just fight normal lizards in this room. It's much easier than the last fight.
Normal lizards? Just
Well,
regular lizards walking
I mean-
out of the floor. Squash! Eat it, asshole.
It's like some neighborhood geckos. Like,
Yeah, just little house geckos.
yeah.
Where'd he go? Oh, he went down there. Okay. I'm gonna get hit by that. Oh, no, he decided not to hit me. So I just did the ecstasy explode all the swords on him, which left him vulnerable for my next attack. I don't know why I tried to do that though. Stop running. A problem with this game is that almost all the enemies are either complete pushovers or they run away from you, or they drop out of your combos and then they run away from you. Because they couldn't figure of any other way to make the enemies good. Like, both characters are way too powerful for the enemies to have any other weaknesses, I guess. Round and... I might stop going Forbes at this point. You guys get the point. I don't need to destroy every single piece of scenery.
Yes, you do.
I mean, if you want me to, I will keep doing it.
Dante has a sword and then a gun, and then he goes, yeah.
That's your book
There.
report on
There,
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, this is, if you don't know what you're looking at, I feel like this is the hardest game to watch too. No, Dante literally can't complete this secret mission, but I already showed it off. Here we go, here's the enemies. Oops, I'm not undone something. So
I'm
if you're
glad that Dante's voice clip is still yeah for the stinger. Anyways.
yeah, that never changed. I was just gonna say, if you have anything to say, feel free to ask, because at this point, I will just be freestyling beating up dudes for like 8 missions.
Oh, when do you gun?
When do you gun?
When do I gun?
I'm reading Isfahan's dating profile.
When do you gun?
Early and often.
Okay.
When do you gun?
When do you sword?
Not so late and not so
Slight. Also early and often, actually. I do everything often.
You heard it here first. Frank does everything often.
I do everything often.
I went to the shooting range with Isfahan once.
Did you really?
It's a true story. Yep. Me and one of my friends went to shooting range because he was visiting somewhere in Texas, and so there were cheap shooting ranges all over the place. So he actually went out of his way to find one that met his standards, and we went, and I was horrified. It was not very good. So, that's my great story. When I was in high school, I was accidentally shot in the head with a BB gun, so all the guns going off actually like freaked me out of it. So
That would do
It's
it.
understandable.
yeah. Fun fact: don't get shot in the head with a BB gun. It's not as fun as it sounds. It sounds super fun, but it's actually not that fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it really does sound super fun.
It sounds like a blast, like literally and like figuratively, but yeah.
I don't mind like in a super controlled environment or like, you know, in a good range, like shooting guns, but I don't know, there's just always in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I'm stubbing my toe in the wrong way. I'm one stub toe away from just like shooting someone, and I'm just like, it always just kind of makes me feel weird. It's like,
That's why you just shoot
I have a gun right now, and there are other people here, and that's weird. Like, that's a weird thing.
That's why you just shoot someone right off the bat, and you get the fear out of the way.
It's like jail.
Show dominance.
It's like jail. Yeah. You shoot one of the guys there.
Hey guys, remember this puzzle and how good it was? How it's the only puzzle in the game? Well, here it is again, and the only difference...
No joking, I actually don't remember this puzzle.
Wow. It's the only puzzle in the game. You have to go where the light comes from, which you use by... You determine by where the shadows are. And the only real twist this time is that one of the times you have to walk backwards, where you just came from. Which you didn't have
I kind of
to
wish
do.
they at least like changed some of the gimmicks around a little more. I think that would have at least made it a little bit.
I mean, the gimmick of this level is actually really awful the first time. You're not noticing it now because I know the path, but basically there's no way to get through this level other than guess and checking, going through every dark portal until you get the right one. Your first time through, and then just remembering that in the future. There's no logic to it. It's really awful, actually. It's like the worst gimmick in the game the first time. I will say that fighting the bosses again is generally still really fun as Dante because they all have different approaches. Like, it's a very different boss, even though it behaves exactly the same.
Goofy motherfucker.
That's what I do if I had demon powers.
Shrug emoji.
Dante really does. Yeah, he does a really good interpretation of Shrug emoji.
I love how Dante just did like ridiculous amounts of trigonometry to hit that lady in the face.
You may guess, but the kindest fate.
It doesn't even like harm her, it's just to piss her off.
Yeah, she's just like, ow, ow, stop it, ow. Damn it.
Oh, I missed you so much.
Wow, I can't believe Dante's fucking dead. Oh.
As appealing as that sounds, I think I'll pass.
He just let himself get eaten so that he could pry open her mouth. Also,
Like the
come to think of it,
thing, you know.
when he's in the snake mouth, she's there. Like, her human body is just in there with him. Like, oh, hey? Like, isn't that really awkward?
I like to believe that he winked at her. Hey, baby. God, I didn't realize how much I missed Dante. Like, all these fights with Nero where I was just like, I'm super serious, I'm Nero. I'm gonna get you. And Dante's like, I'm gonna soccer ball these seed pods. Because why not? I'm Dante.
Yeah, it's so weird, because it's like, you're like, oh, I guess this game is just a little less humorless. Or a little less humor. And a little bit more, you know, serious and melodramatic. But then Dante comes along and it's like, no, it's just the character. Like, Dante's still totally Dante.
He must take after his, I don't know. No, never mind, I didn't say anything.
His father, whoever that would be. Because he's an orphan, we don't know
that
who
may
it is.
be. Yeah.
You guys keep insinuating stuff and I don't get it. I'm totally lost.
I don't know what you mean by insinuating.
Just what was that supposed to be?
Oh, that was the form where she shoots out one baby seed, and it just sort of gets in your... The only real thing that it does is that it fucks up your lock-on, and it'll make you lock onto it, and you won't see where she's coming from. Like, it doesn't otherwise do anything. Because she only shoots one.
Dante's like, well, I gotta kill a baby first.
You kind of do, though, because it will totally fuck up your lock-on. It's super weird that that's, like, what it does. Oops, I did the wrong move, and now I don't know if I have enough time. Let's see. That's right, it doesn't do that much damage to her because you don't hit upwards. You don't hit press the uppercut. I shouldn't have done that move.
Teenage Dream Minute. That's squirrel paw couldn't have been worth it. What about when I got shot in the head? Yeah, the BB came out like days later, so that was...
Oh, shit. Oh,
yeah.
God. That's gross.
Yeah,
That's...
bad times.
Bad times, agreed.
She's so much harder once she gets golden that it's kind of ridiculous.
Get her!
Whoa, wrong style.
Well, this is totally not the same thing at all, but one time when I was in, I believe it was middle...
So fast. Keep going. I'm just marveling how fast the kid
One time I was in middle school, I took this, I made this kid mad at me, I don't know why, maybe I was just being a little shit. And he took a mechanical pencil and stabbed me with it in the arm.
Oh dear.
Oh, wow.
And I still have the mark. I can still see it of the graphite, like whatever, you know, that pencil, like the mark it made under my skin. So I have a permanent mechanical pencil lead tattoo.
That's like a superpower, kind of.
And I was
Find that guy.
I was worried for a little while, like, will this get infected? Will this do anything? But no, it's been it might literally have been a decade and a half by this point, and no, nothing. So there you go. Basically the same thing, like, when you think about it.
Shit. Oh man, I actually might lose this one.
You got this.
No, her seeds! I hate that. Her seeds can
dear.
come out at any time and just instantly hit you. Whatever. I kind of expected this would happen by playing while talking. It's not a big deal. I should have also just done this right away. Now you get to see the missile barrage.
Actually used a gold orb.
I know, right? It's lame.
Well, at least you got to summon a sweet rocket cheer.
I think that look suits you better.
Anyways, Dante actually bothers to kill the demons. Because, remember, Nero only killed the frog. Everyone else just...
Oh no, her head flew off.
One down.
So this is where you would get the Gilgamesh, which is this thing. Which, by the way, he has a face mask because it lets off sparks when he charges, and while he's charging, the face mask comes up on his face. Which is kind of a nice touch. Because I guess otherwise you'd be unhealthy. You'd inhale that shit, man. That's...
Yeah, that's...
Oh my god, he totally 1-inch punched it. That's so great. It makes me so happy. Like, I'm like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then there's another Bruce Lee thing that he did. Just see right now.
It's stacking up.
2 to go.
It's perfect stack. It's cover image.
So killing her disperses the warp portals. I guess she had warp portals. Let me very quickly talk about the last basic mechanics. There's a lot of advanced mechanics I won't go into because I literally can't do them. But basically, Dante's Devil Trigger is a lot like the previous games. It doesn't increase his damage that much, and it doesn't increase his defense that much, unlike the previous games. It makes him go a little faster. Mostly what it's good for is that it powers up a lot of your moves. Each weapon has a move that will get powered up by it. Stinger, you've probably seen a few times, goes from this to like a gigantic monster area of effect attack that is the most powerful thing. It just hits everything all the time, and you'll go through enemies, and I think it's also invincible. So it's kind of ridiculously good, and if you really want to cheese things out, you use your whole Devil Trigger on just repeatedly stingering things. With Gilgamesh, the Kick 13, the series of kicks, adds a couple extra kicks, and he'll go up into the air with them with a few extra kicks. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you have the Gilgamesh equipped, when you jump, it's an attack. Which has been true for the other games too, but it's a little bit more useful here because there's a couple things you can counter with it. And this thing's called the Lucifer, and or it's just called Lucifer. The thing that gets powered up here is this move's called Pinup, and instead of putting out one set of 5, you put out 2 sets of 5. It's not very good. And the other thing that Devil Trigger does for you is it lets you dash 3 times in midair with Trickster, and it lets you triple jump. And I think that's everything. I think that is all the intended mechanics of the game. Oh wait, there's one more thing that Devil Trigger does. It's called Devil Trigger Distortion, which it was originally a glitch, but in the special edition they toned it down and made it intentional. But basically, anytime you hit something, if you Devil Trigger, there's like a pause, and it turns out if you Devil Trigger at the right time, that pause would make the attack hit twice or even more times. What people mostly did was they did the very slow uppercut, and then they Devil Triggered when it hit, and it would hit twice, and then they'd undevil trigger when it was doing the uppercut parts, and so it would hit like twice then as well, and it did like, you could take off 3/4 of a boss's health bar doing that. So in the special edition they made the timing a bit easier, but they also they toned it way down, so it doesn't add nearly as much damage. So it's intentional now, but it's not nearly as good. You can't, like, if you go look at like boss, like, how do you beat this boss on the hardest difficulty? It's all of them doing, like, dodging for 20 seconds, waiting till they're vulnerable to the uppercut, and then just doing the uppercut and they're basically dead already. Like, it's really ridiculous how powerful it was. So I'm actually really glad about that change, because I like doing that, because it's cool to time it and it feels good to sort of use the hit stun to do more damage. But it just did so much damage, it demolished everything and made it kind of unfun.
Kind of sounds like the, not quite as powerful, but kind of like the Hadouken and Mega Man X, where it's just like, you do this and then you win.
Mm-hmm. Which one of the Mega Mans had it when you paused, it would actually keep hitting? I think it had the same thing.
Are you thinking of Blaster Master? Oh no, wait, are you thinking of Mega Man 1 where you shoot the Elect Beam at Yellow Devil?
Maybe?
And you pause it over and over and over again and it hits him for a
Yes, that's probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I know it happened in Castlevania too. And like, the second one? You could kill bosses that way by just repeatedly pausing and unpausing? Right?
Yeah, that sounds about right for that buggy piece of shit.
Yeah. It's just a consistent...
Not that good. Not the cute buggy, but also the cute buggy? Sure. Look at this little
yeah,
demons
little
like looking around. You know.
they're like little heads. That, so these are these are faults. They get an area of the map that they're assigned to, and they'll appear in that area if you walk on it. And if you get captured by them, you get taken to another room where you have to fight one of a couple different waves of demons. I will probably not get captured by one, but I might if I screw up. It's possible. I'm not going to show it off. It's a lot like the attack from the big blobby guy in the first game, the boss. It's basically the same thing. You go to a place and you fight a group of enemies. And then once you finish fighting them, you get spat back out. But the fight starts... The fight you were in starts over is the really annoying part, because it's like you came into the room for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And killing those guys, it doesn't permanently kill them. It basically disables the one in that area for a while. Like, even in this room, there's like 5 or 6 of them. And they sort of have a set area they cover. So if you want to fight... If you kill one of them, you're basically free to fight in an area for a while. But mostly you can also just friggin' dodge them, because they're not that hard to dodge. They make loud noises. Oh, you got him anyway? There we go.
Frank, my teenage dream ended has a simple request for you.
Frank, jump up a demon's ass.
Said please.
Please.
He was nice about it.
Well, he
Please.
said pulls.
Please.
Pulls.
Same idea.
Pulls jump up a demon's ass.
Frank, jump up a demon's ass.
Oh, I was going for Wesley Willis, but that's good too. Except if we're doing
Jump up a demon's ass, freakazoid, freakazoid.
I was gonna say if we're doing it in the style of this game,
Frank is playing a video game. He has swords and guns. He should really jump up a demon's ass. Jump up a demon's ass. Jump up a demon's ass. Rock over London, rock on Chicago. Lays potato chips. You can't eat just one.
excellent.
I've listened to a lot of Wesley Willis in my life, I'm just saying.
Oh, I jumped over it. Damn it. Here, let me block this. Oh, it was a terrible block. I shouldn't have done it. I just look foolish now.
Now you look silly.
Wow, that one almost got me.
That reminds me, one of my favorite Wesley Willis albums was one where he did it with like an actual rock band, like an actual like metal rock band, and it was Wesley Willis lyrics with like actual metal on it, and it's so good. I forget the name of it, like the group he did it with, but this one of the best songs they did is "He's Doing Time in Jail." If you want to look up, I might even post a video to that one. It's so great.
Oh, here's a great
Because, like,
example of how uneven surfaces suck in this game. Sorry, keep going. I just wanted to point that out.
They'll do like an actual metal video where like they're playing guitar, like they're doing something like doing like this dramatic like zoom around the guy playing guitar, and then it'll just cut to Wesley Willis just standing there being Wesley Willis. Anyway. And now my teenage dream is posting lyrics to Rock and Roll McDonald's. Good job. I was so happy when I went to Chicago and actually saw the Rock and Roll McDonald's for the first time. I'm like, all I could think of was Wesley Willis.
All I could think of was Wesley Willis. Funny as hell. It was the most horrible thing I could think of. Oh, I guess I just started that.
I appreciate the quote, but Wesley Willis is never a horrible thing to think of.
I think it would be for Max Payne, though. I don't think Max would appreciate Wesley Willis.
Hey,
Payne gets the job done.
hey, if Max Payne heard a Wesley Willis song during that whole thing, he might have cheered up. That game would have gone a lot differently.
He's like, I'm feeling really bad about my dot. What is this? Well, this is a pretty funny song, actually. It's nice.
I do like Alanis Morissette. I get this guy.
Max Payne singing the Alanis Morissette. Let's see the song.
Ooh, could we? Fire that guy.
It was like 10,000 spoons when all I needed was a knife.
Oh, I just interrupted his special attack. Oh, poor guy. He almost never gets to do that one. Oh, here's where we get to see a fun thing. The Blitz is actually blind and cannot differentiate between friend and foe. So he's gonna go attack that lizard, most likely. And the lizard's gonna leave.
Oh no.
But if you ever notice where he sort of sits around sometimes and, like, looks, it's because he's trying to find where you are. The AI doesn't actually find you by sound or anything, but it's a neat little thing. Oh, what? Wait, really? I didn't know that happened. I guess that counts as a melee attack. Wow, I just lost half my health because I didn't know that. That's crazy. I'm still learning things. So I was doing the Pandora laser on that guy, but what I didn't realize was that when the laser comes down, there is an attack, like where Dante sets it on the ground, and apparently that counts as a melee attack, so it ricocheted off the Blitz and hurt me.
Oh.
Anyway, we're seeing why it's lame to fight the Blitz with Dante, because you basically jump around and do the shotgun for a while until you get hit, or he gets hit. What? And then you try and do this attack and it fails because the dude's got the finickiest hitbox in the world. There we go. That should do it. Right? No, not quite. Shit. It's actually still got a lot of health. Wait, what? He aimed... I didn't see the laser hit me. Am I crazy?
Yes.
How did that laser hit me? I don't even know. Well,
Demon power.
I did say I was rusty. I tried to style it and I failed. I'm sorry, everybody. I failed you.
No apology will ever make up for it.
I should probably just stop playing video games now and go live in the woods.
Those are the only two options.
Those literally it. I can't imagine why else you wouldn't play video games unless you're in the woods.
Into the Wild 2, it me Frank.
It's the sequel to 48 Hours. It's just 2 hours. That's how long I make it. Do I fight something in this room? I think I do, but it's not... So just an example of how fucked up the difficulty curve in this game is. Last time we were in this room last level, we fought 3 lizards with the Chimera Seeds on them. This time, we fight 3 Chimera Seed things, but 2 of them are scarecrows. Which are, like, super easy to fight, because you can just run away from them. Like, I don't really get it. I don't really understand why that happened.
It's probably one of those things where they were like, oh, we'll get back to it later. And like, oh shit, we never got back to it!
I mean, Dante's whole campaign kind of smacks of that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say I've already fought the hardest levels of it. But that's not quite true.
So those things are like wall masters, but they're like floor
Yes.
floor masters.
There are floor masters in Zelda already, dude.
Yeah, it was Wind Waker.
Gee.
Wind Waker.
Oh yeah, there were, weren't they?
Yeah. Like I grab my hands.
It's like Speed 2, only on a bus instead of a boat.
Play that game again. That's good. Yeah.
Wind
Yeah, it
Waker's
was cute.
pretty good. I've got it on Wii U.
You do.
You're
And you
easy
have,
to dust
you
that
have the
thing
Wind
off.
Waker. You have the Wind Waker Wii U as well. It's got the little Hylian.
Oh, I do. Yeah, bought that
stuff
from
on the controller.
bought that secondhand. It's pretty good.
Oh shit. Oh, ow, damn. Every once in a while I forget those guys actually have projectile attacks. But they do. They just never do them. Probably because it shoots off their hands and that really hurts. And they're not crossed, so that shit doesn't just grow back.
Ow.
Well, like, they're not the ice lizards that grow that shit back, so...
You gotta make it count. Make it count. Ah, this was a mistake.
They also have a move that I don't fully understand. They only do it when they're hurt, and I think they only do it on this difficulty. But they'll scream really, really loudly, and then they'll, like...
I have that move too.
They'll scream really loudly, and this is the move I said, oh, I interrupted it earlier. And then they make, like, this big force field around them that shoves you back but doesn't do much damage. And, like, they throw some kind of tantrum, and it takes a really long time, and then I don't really know what happens. Like, I think maybe if you're in the force field the whole time, it does a lot of damage. Or it powers them up in some way. Or maybe if they completely finish it, like they do some projectile attack I've never noticed. I really don't know. I don't know what happens. I always feel bad because it's clearly their desperation, like, final attack. And they're really cool and like, ah! And, like, I don't know what it never hits.
Just standing there blinking, like, I don't... What do you... I don't understand.
Oh, this one. So in the original version of this game, you could actually access this mission as Nero. And it was really easy to see, so you probably did. And you're like, what am I doing? Royal Blocker? Oops, I screwed it. But you basically just have to Royal Block 5 times. Let's see if my timing is not terrible. It's pretty terrible. Yep. Well, that's one. I'll give it... Yeah, that's enough.
Oops, I pressed it.
Wow, yeah, my timing's not on today, so I'm just gonna skip. That one's pretty difficult your first time through. It's not that hard once you get good, but... There is one trick to it. If you get a couple in, you can do that. The only use for that Juggernaut armor move I said was the worst move in the game. If you do it there, if they hit you, it won't count as a hit, and it won't break your combo of doing 5 blocks in a row. So if you get like 3 blocks in, you can then do that move, and it'll give you more leniency for like the final 2. It's the only time you would ever want to do that move. You can switch styles pretty much as fast as you want to, and the really good players switch that fast while actually doing things. It's the end. This is the end level cutscene, and I think it's just the bridge goes back, and then there's a really long pan to show you the bridge went down. Yep. Nice. Thanks, guys. It's cool that you don't know what to do with Dante. It's crazy that, like, the most fun levels are when you're playing as Dante, and they're completely filler. It's literally just, oh, I'm fighting the demons again, and I'm making my way back to the start.
But now I'm doing it wacky pants style.
Here's this thing. Oh, I just did the Devil Trigger Distortion thing to show it off. Oops, wrong move.
I see. Combo. Did Dante just go, get out of here?
Yeah. Get out of here.
Hey,
Get out of here.
hey, you mug. Get out of here.
We don't serve demons like you. Oh, this is where we get introduced to the Blitz for the first time? Yes, it is. On your first playthrough, this is like the only Blitz you fight in the whole game, actually. You fight like one here and one later. Which is terrible, because as I said, Dante's terrible at fighting the Blitz. Especially when he doesn't have his full moveset. It's really fucking awful. And Dante has to level up each one of his styles twice to get the full style things. And then he has to level up his weapons as well to get their movesets. Are you over there, huh? Oh, there is one better way to take them out that I just remembered that I can do. So, and it's probably the coolest use of Royal Guard, but if I hit him, I can actually Royal Guard the counter attack that happens when I hit him. which is not as difficult as it looks, but still pretty difficult. Come on, hit him. Nope, he's gonna win. Yeah. So, people who've played this game a lot know the exact way to manipulate this dude into not jumping away from your uppercut. I don't, so I pretty much just have to rely on luck. Oh damn, he's still got so much health. That's really unfortunate. Whoa, nice combo.
Throwing at you.
Whoa, he almost got me with that one. Man, I am 0 for 2 on these. No, 1 for 3 on these blitzes. Sorry. It's still not very good. Bye, Millie.
See ya.
Oh, so now this whole place is filled with ice? Because it's filled with ice. I like the poetry of the description here. It's one of the few times like the old melodramatic descriptions come back. Reaching the door to return to town is an impossible dream.
You know, every time they do the melodramatic thing in Devil May Cry, like this with Dante, it reminds me of that in that one, you know, the Rip and Tear Doom comic, where the guy's like, "Rip and Tear, you're big. That means you have big guts." And then, like, when the Berserker comes down, he like looks at a bunch of toxic waste and he's like, "Man, it's so bad how we messed up the environment." And I'm like, "What? The what? Who are you?" like seriously, like page 5 of that comic, there's an environmental message, and I'm like, dude. You were just literally yelling about ripping pubic guts. Like, no.
You can care about multiple things at once.
That's true.
He's a multifaceted character. He's
I'm so tired of this political stance that we can only focus on one thing at a time. It's like, we can care about removing the environment and killing demons, guys. There's room for both of those on the Senate floor.
I should
I
totally
wish one of those.
Y'all should totally make a Twitter post, like with that clapping emoji, like, you can like tearing up demon guts and still care about climate change.
And still care about tweet 1 of 2.
Thread.
This room's fucking dark, honestly. I'm gonna fight it mostly on the 2nd floor because I guess I could turn up the contrast on my. Oh, he's doing it. I missed my chance to reflect the fireball.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, Frank. Don't worry about it.
I swear it doesn't happen often, dude.
It's just that you're in front of people right now.
Whoop. Nope. Almost. That was weird. I think I tried to land on the railing and the game really didn't like that. It kind of shoved me to the side. You guys literally can't hit me from down there if you do that move. You're just running into a wall for no reason. Oh, they're doing the thing again. So, I don't know if you're going to see me reflect their fireball in a second. I actually do it with the thrown rose from the ecstasy thing, which is both slightly cooler than normal and also a really easy way to do it, oddly enough. I don't know what it is, but it's just really easy to hit it with the rose. And the rose does...
Oh, you got all of them.
The rose does do a little bit of damage. If you kill someone with that, it instantly puts your style to triple S, I think.
I would imagine. The game's just... like, yeah, I acknowledge.
Yeah, that was pretty
fucking
cool.
Sweet.
Oh, let's see if I can fuck up the camera angle here. I'll give it like one shot. Oops. Well, it almost worked actually. Whatever. If you do it just right, you can the camera angle. If you'll go to the bottom, and the camera angle will just sort of chase you down the stairs as it rotates down them. I'm not gonna try again. This secret mission is the hardest one? Yep. I'll give it one shot. So, you need to eliminate a whole bunch of lizards and chimera lizards without getting hit once or being captured by a Faust. Or Fault, not Faust. So you pretty much have to do this perfect while getting hit, while avoiding enemies that can hit you if you're anywhere close, completely randomly. And also not touching the ground for very long. Whoa, his thing's just recharged right in front of me. So this is what I meant by mostly just shotgunning dudes repeatedly while dodging around. It's the only real good way to fight them usually.
I like how the lizard is hopping around.
Hello.
Yeah, they just kind of do their own thing. It makes them really hard to fight, honestly, because they can just hop around wherever they feel like. Oh, I'm gonna get. Oh, wow, that was close. Woo! Oh my goodness, I just got lucky. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Did the fall hurt the lizard, or did you?
What fall?
Did you just happen to? It looked like the fall opened up on the lizard and killed it,
Oh,
but it's
no.
possible you just happened to kill at the same time.
Yeah, no, the thing is that the lizards take a while to do their death animation. They will fall and topple over and lay there on the ground.
I see.
And it looks the same as if you just knock them on the ground, but then a couple seconds later they'll play the death animation. It actually confuses me sometimes, and I'll try and do like a lock-on move to them, and I won't go anywhere. Like I'll do the, I'll try and teleport to them to finish them off, and I'll just sort of teleport in place, and I'll be like, oh, I guess they're dead. I guess I didn't do anything. Anyways, even if you're really good, I feel like, unless you are, like, actually godlike amazing, and you can do combo vids while playing normally, those dudes are just gonna randomly hit you. It's really miserable on the Hell or Hell mode, because they will, like, one hit from their tiny little blades also is, like, a quarter of your health, effectively, permanently, so... It's really miserable. They're a really bad enemy. Really, really bad. Oh, here's a really great example of how unfinished Dante is. Look at his run cycle. You can actually see it jump because it doesn't cycle properly. He's got like,
Totally.
He's got like a crick in his right arm, I guess. Like, come on, guys.
He was just feeling a little sore that day.
That was what a royal guard looks like, by the way, when I did that. It's occurred to me that might not be obvious when I do it. I think we've already done the cool parts of this level, and the rest is just fighting some scarecrows and demon dogs. In areas we've already been in. Thanks, guys.
I wish they at least like left little signs that Nero was in the room, like little footprints, or Nero was here, graffiti.
Smell you later.
Yeah, he's the Gary Oak of Devil May Cry. Which now I think about it, Pokemon game on Devil May Cry engine
Hey
would be
kid,
amazing.
what's your name? Buttface. It's a pretty good name.
Are you a boy or a girl?
Oh my god! So it's like, hey kid, what's your name? Nero. Hey kid, are you a boy or a girl?
We've already got Pokemon with the Tekken engine. I feel that this is just the next logical step.
Pokemon and everything.
I'm still going for my Mario stylish fighter concept.
Oh, I missed the block. A fun thing to do against the Mega Scarecrows is to royal block their blade when it comes down after they die. Just to add insult to injury.
I mean, Mario Plus Rabbids shows that good things happen when Nintendo was like, you know what, you can try our property a little.
It's kind of weird. Like, if you took me back to the 90s and told me that Nintendo would be more open their IPs than Sega is, I would be really surprised.
I don't know. I mean, kind of, but I mean, Sega is the ones that told those fan weirdos, be like, yeah, just make a Sonic game.
That's true.
Just do it.
You can't screw it up more than we did.
Yeah, just shrug emoji. Just like, well, you made this cool engine.
Maybe they just asked the dude who runs the Sonic Twitter, and he didn't tell anybody.
I did hear that the people that are making Ori, like the second Ori game, hired the guy that made the AM2R, the Another Metroid 2 remake, to do the level design, so
Nice.
that's gonna be bonkers.
That's good. That's a great game. Kind of sad it had to be sacrificed on the altar of Samus Returns, but, you know, fair enough.
Well, I mean, it works for that guy, because Nintendo's just like, no, we're gonna take your game down. The Ori people are like, you wanna, like, job? That's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, it does work pretty well when it's like, what's your resume? And just point to that and be like, okay.
Yeah, alright. You passed the test.
This is the room with the low ceiling, by the way.
Oh yeah, this place.
Oh, you're both recharging at the same time, huh? He's gonna go right. He just tried to recharge again. You just recharged, you lazy.
You silly.
Silly.
Oop. I think I just interrupted his charging by jumping on his head. Because jump cancel in this game actually does count as an attack, so he just kind of goes, oop.
Goomba stomp. Please tell me you play competitive Pokken. No, I don't even know Pokken, actually. I did play the demo.
Me too. It's
Stop
pretty fun.
running.
Sean says, I mean, the last time Nintendo was loose with their products, they got the CDI. Good point.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. Like, theoretically, Dante is really cool, and he's got a really deep skill ceiling, but he's not really to my liking. I like having limitations and playing around them.
Yep.
One of my favorite things about Devil May Cry 3 is that I can choose what set of limitations and strengths I have and play around those. Like, fighting a boss is different with every style. I mean, there's some bosses and styles that you just wouldn't do, because you don't get anything from it, but... Like, it's a totally different experience, and, like, I can... Like, when I'm playing Gunslinger, it's like, well, I'm really weak in this area, but I'm really strong in this area. Like, how do I approach the situation? And in this game, it's like, you can do anything, whenever, and it's just limited by how many buttons you can press. And
Your insanity.
like, I'm not actually that great at hitting a whole bunch of buttons very quickly. I'm not very good at it. There is a hard limit to how good I will ever be at this game, and I'm not gonna hit the top. And, I mean, that's not bad. It's really cool that this game exists for the people it's for, because, like, for the people who want that level of depth, there aren't that many games out there that give it to them. So it's really cool that this game actually does exist, even if some of the depth is accidental. It's neat that it's there.
Accidental depth's my favorite.
Let's see if I can grab this. There we go.
That's my stripper name.
Accidental depth. Oh, so that's... I knew I saw you.
I'm skipping another item and another orb pile there, because you don't need them for orb completion, but, yeah, that was the holy water I'd failed to get last time. It's hiding in the glow of the blue thing there. Anyways, I went down there and activated the blue jump pad, which launches me really high, and it launches me back up here, which is just an excuse so that I can exactly backtrack Nero's path. Let's see. So in this room, there's just a couple of scarecrows. Do I have to kill one more for this to work? Maybe? There we go. Oh, he's on the platform. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm aiming for. So, it's... Oops. Damn it! He moved. That's hitting me. Wow. Okay. Sheesh. Okay, now I'm... Usually, it's really easy to do the Omen move from up here and take his shield off for free. But this time I actually managed to get hit, which has not happened to me before. Oh, that didn't hit. And that's what I mean by ran. Like, I did an uppercut that I'm pretty sure should have hit him, but it didn't because it didn't.
I liked that the suitcase was just on nothing.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna jump away. Oh, he jumped into it! That never happens! Lucky me. You actually can't kill him before he goes red, but if you get him low enough, he has exactly 1 hit point, so you can just pistol him to finish him. Okay. There's a mission back here? Did I do this one already? Is this... Which one is this? Oh. Yeah, this is one where you get your style up by not attacking. You could technically do this with Royal Blocker, but I'm not gonna make you guys wait. I'll just immediately fail it. Let me clear out this graveyard of all the graves, because I'm rewarded for that. I guess the demons rebuilt them? Or maybe some members of the church came and were like...
They're like, this is disgusting. They desecrated these because, oh no!
They rebuilt the icicles too, which is interesting.
It was actually an art installation. Every icicle was painstakingly put there.
The other way to get the orb over there, that's usually a blue orb, is to double or triple jump up and then do the missile pod thing and fly it over there.
Oh,
There's a couple things that you're meant to get with the missile pod. I think that's one of them. Oh, I missed one.
Oops, I missed it.
Oops, I missed it. Oh,
Just kept
I
taunting you.
missed. Dante smells something. Sexy ladies. So while Nero was totally not into these, Dante is immediately into it. Jesus.
like he sees nothing suspicious.
Wow.
Well,
about
except
any of this.
he actually
Nice.
does. Here's the
Slides
thing.
over them.
You can hide that body, but that smell? Ooh, there's no covering up.
So he knew all along that those were fake, and there was some evil, smelly demon behind him. But he was still like, "These are sexy." Like, he doesn't give a
Can't
shit.
let good art go to waste.
That would literally be his answer to the thing. Like, oh, nice counter.
You know, I was really hoping that when it's like when the ladies come up, you would be like, "Oh yeah," and then start kicking them around like soccer balls, like with the seeds in that last fight. Lady soccer.
God in heaven. Or Sparta, or whatever's going on.
Oh, nice, I got him. Even though he disappears pretty quick, you can actually keep hitting him for a while he's still disappearing. Now, the boring thing here is, if Nero damages these ladies enough, he can grab them and force the guy back into the fight. Dante can't, so you're pretty much just stuck hitting these ladies for a while for no reason. It's sort of boring.
It's playing Dropout again!
Oh, that's interesting. The other thing that makes this boss a pushover, if you get encased by ice, you can devil trigger and get out of it. And if he manages to actually get his big lunging bite attack off, you can devil trigger and get out of it. So like, his only real attacks, like, you can still just not get hit. Oh, that's gonna hit. Oh no, it's just gonna knock me out of the way. Oop, see? There it is, by accident. Oh shit, I don't have double trigger. Wow, that's what's really bad. He actually got it. If the ladies grab you, you can also devil trigger and immediately unfreeze and then hit him. That's probably the most effective way to do it, actually. But I didn't have... I had just little enough that I couldn't do it. Here, I'll show you. So getting hit by the ice ladies is actually like a benefit, because it lets you do damage to them sooner. It's almost like they didn't design this boss fight for Dante. Which is crazy, because of course they did.
Of course, no, this is, yeah. It was Nero who was the after.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, that hit me? Damn. Ugh. I'm getting a little tired. I'm gonna show off a few bonus modes after this, but I think this has been my last mission for now. Well, I'll have to check what number it is.
It's definitely, yeah, definitely Dropout.
Oh, you're not gonna do the forward attack. Lunge at me. There we go. I did a royal counter to his lunge. You probably won't really see it, but...
Kaboom.
Kaboom.
He wasn't kidding. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
So these other frogs blow, but this weapon's way more powerful in cutscenes. But this is where you would get Pandora normally. Also, I guess Pandora gets its own heavy rock theme.
Of course it does, why wouldn't it?
Why wouldn't it?
Although it does have cutscene damage powers, I do appreciate that, like, all this shit, you're like, oh man, that's cool cutscene shit. I bet I can't do it in the game. It's like, nope, you can
Yeah.
you can do all of it.
You can do all of that. A demonic weapon capable of 666 calamitous forms.
Dante just
He just falls through. Let me see, what number am I on here? Do I want to do one more? I'm just gonna hit next, I guess. We'll watch the opening cutscene in the next one and we'll see what number it is. Oh, no opening cutscene. 16.
I wouldn't mind seeing some bonus stuff.
Yeah, I think I'll go to the bonus stuff for now, and then I'll leave the last, we're getting pretty close to the end, so I'll leave the last missions for the next time.
Like my Teenage Dream ended called that. It's a Alienware briefcase laptop designed for fatality.
So, I will show off Virgil first. I've barely ever even played with him. Other than a bunch of minor gameplay tweaks, the main thing that the special edition added is 3 playable characters. Lady and Trish switch off like Nero and Dante do. And Virgil, who does not. I'm going to do Virgil, and then I'm going to... God, can I show that? Virgil gets both Virgil and Lady Trish get an opening and exit cutscene, too. But I don't think I can... I can't show you Virgil's ending cutscene, because I don't have it. Because I've barely played as him, and I don't remember what it is. And I can't show you Lady or Trish's, because it actually is the end of the game. So, from a different perspective. So I can't do that. But I can show you their opening cutscenes and their gameplay. And maybe I'll show you the ending cutscene for Lady and Trish later. And Virgil too. I should probably beat it as him. Let's do this one. Virgil's opening cutscene is okay to play because it actually takes place many, many years ago. Because, Virgil is dead at the time of DMC4. A few decades ago. So presumably this is before Devil May Cry 3, which would make him, 15?
Questions? Yeah.
Well, you'll notice he looks a lot older than he did in 3. So that doesn't really make any fucking sense. But I guess he visited... His story does not really make any sense, because he's visiting...
The Order of the Sword, huh?
We can only take his opening and ending cutscenes as, canon, because everything else doesn't make sense. Why are there demons in Fortuna 2 decades ago?
They worship a demon as a god.
We do get to see Virgil be really, really cool, because that's what he does. It was designed for fatality, Conqueror of the Fire Hell. Nice one. He's talking about the Alienware laptop.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't think Virgil ever aged or was a child. I think he was like Athena, he was born fully formed from the head of anime.
God, poor Eve. That's their mother's name. You might have forgotten that because it comes up once.
in the first one and nothing else.
Yeah. Shit, unless that's only the mother's name in the reboot. I hope not. I'd hate to get my lore wrong. Like how it's like, I
whatever her name was, it's super hot that Trish looks like her.
Oh yeah.
I do kind of like after 1, they don't really have like a lover. Like they're definitely like coworkers and sassy together. But Dante, it's like the one lady Dante doesn't hit on. Like, I mean, in 1 he was clearly in love with her, but like you could read it as not being that. And in this game,
Yeah.
it's like maybe he's not. Maybe they just hang out together.
I guess they kind of just, for him to maintain that cool image, it probably would have just been kind of weird. There's like, oh, he has some obligation to this one woman.
Wow, check out this one lady in Fortuna many years ago who was looking at Virgil adoringly in the crowd. Huh, it's probably nothing. It's probably nothing.
He's so distinctive and not NPC-like at all.
So let me go to mission menu because I don't actually...
model.
In Nero's original story, I think he was... Or maybe it's in this one too, I don't remember. I can't remember what was dropped and what was actually put in, because most of it isn't in the game anyway. But he was supposed to have been picked up from... He put at the orphanage from, like, a prostitute, I guess? Like, there's a whole novel. The person who wrote the story for this game wrote a novel of this game, which has a whole bunch of different shit we can probably assume was the original plot. And in that fucking thing, and I haven't read it, but apparently it's explicitly spelled out that Virgil had sex with a prostitute, and the prostitute gave birth to Nero. And he's called Nero because the blanket that he was dropped at the orphanage at was black. And so the person there was like, oh, Nero is a word for black in a language.
So he was one blanket choice away from being called plaid. Or flannel.
Polka dot.
Oh wait, let me charge up my
Ooh, or Argyle. I would have played it. I played
Paisley.
Paisley.
So Virgil, he's kind of similar to his Devil May Cry 3 appearance, where he's got just swords. He doesn't have another melee or ranged, and he's got the same 3 weapons. He's got just Force Edge. He's got Force Edge plus Yamato, and he's got Beowulf. But and he switches between them. But he's pretty fucking different this time. They really gave him a full unique mechanic set. His main unique mechanic, first, his warp is a lot better, and it's kind of overpowered, and it's mostly overpowered because it can interrupt literally any attack. So I can just do this and basically be invincible the entire time. Although it should be noted that he needs a sword out in order to warp, otherwise he doesn't warp to anybody. So he's kind of overpowered, mostly because of the warp. But his main mechanic, if you'll notice above my health bar, I've got like this blue meter that's currently going down. That is Virgil's concentration meter. And his moves get worse when it's lower, and they get better when it's higher, and there's at least one move he can only do when he has full concentration. And he loses concentration for doing things like getting hit, for running towards the enemy. I want to say for jumping. No, I guess not for jumping. I don't remember. He loses it for shit that isn't like Virgil, and he gains it for doing shit that's like Virgil. He gains it for standing still. He gains it for letting his sword sheath after doing a combo. He basically gains it for being Virgil-like. And being cool and calm and collected. And a whole bunch of his moves generally get better and do more damage. I'm not going to show his full move set. It's pretty similar to what he had before. And I don't know it very well. But he's basically like, once you get good at him, which I am emphatically not because I've barely played him, you can, you're kind of just constantly warping around the screen because a whole bunch of his moves make him warp forward or back, and then you use his warp ability, which warps him up or down or back. Oh, you lose concentration for missing moves, that's right.
I was gonna look all cool.
How do I do that? No, it's... Alright, here we go. This is his best move. Where he just sort of throws a tantrum while running around.
Ah! Mom.
Mom, I don't want backpack.
He does, his concentration does freeze when you're out of battle, so you don't have to, like, walk slowly out of battle to keep it, thankfully.
That would be so weird. Just a great way to extend gameplay, is he has to walk to every location for no reason.
Or just warp there repeatedly. He throws a dagger and warps. I mean, if I could warp 2 ghost daggers that I spawned, I'd probably never walk either.
And just even to the fridge.
But yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing with this dude, basically. He's got some really cool moves that I don't remember. I won't make you suffer while I go through the skills list to find them.
That's fine. Do whatever you want, Frank.
He does have several moves which will actually implant. Like his main Yamato combo will actually put a sword into the enemy. No, wait, not his main one? Oh, this one. Wait, what? Oh, there we go, that one. Puts the sword into the enemy, which will automatically let you warp to them, but you can also just shoot swords at any time while it doesn't interrupt your attacks or anything.
Teenage Dream says, as Toast can attest, the DMC series basically serves as theology Cliff's Notes. Yeah, I mean, playing these games is basically like going to a Bible college, really.
I wish.
I mean, this is pretty much the equivalent of going to Bible college for the people who are in the church of Sparta.
That's true. Oh man, Sunday school in the Sparta church is amazing.
Alright, he's got this attack. Let's see, what is he? Oh yeah, he's got, the Shin Shoryuken. No, not that's the other one, it's Ken's one. If you charge up his uppercut twice, he'll do the double uppercut that Ken does. Which is neat. I like
Isn't that Shoryurepa or...
Yes, that's the one. I don't know what happens if he goes up to the broken console. I know he doesn't shoot it. It probably just works. Yeah, that's pretty much all I know how to do with him. I will quit and show you some of the other characters. Maybe I won't show you... Actually, I can show you the first cutscene for Lady and Trish. I just can't show you the second one.
Because it's too hot.
It's too hot. I do have an alternate costume for her I got at some point. I don't really know. It's just her with different shades and hair color, and I don't know.
So just how much do you know about Sparta? The story goes that Sparta served as the feudal lord of the city long ago. The people who live there today take these legends as truth and worship them. just like a god.
They worship a demon as a god?
Peaceful worship can't be condemned. But the real problem is the Order. Lately, they've been running amok.
Man, this game
catching
totally does
demons
not
and
pass
have
the
even
demon
butted in
Bechdel
on
test.
some of my heroes.
Maybe they're starting a zoo.
Not just demons.
I mean, it might if Kyrie
They've
ever talked at
also been
all.
targeting Devilons, like the ones you have.
Okay, then, a museum. So what?
Well, what if their intentions are foul, and there's a diabolical plan behind these apparently random acts?
Well then, I'd have
And
something to
Trish's
keep me
model.
occupied, and Trish.
I think it's supposed to look all sexy when she's putting on her lipstick, but she just looked like she was just going like, "Bleh."
Yeah, the animation's not quite there.
Yeah.
Try not to keep us waiting,
Womp
Dante.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
This cutscene makes zero sense. I guess there's just demons here?
Sure.
Outside
would
the
there be?
shop? You know.
Demons everywhere.
There's always demons outside of Devil May Cry.
It must be really hard to get there.
It's also hard for it makes it hard for Dante to maintain the persona that his shop is one of those do anything shops
Yeah.
or whatever the hell it was. So you fight through like an army of demons just to get there, and like, we have a demon problem. Okay, gotcha. Walks outside, starts killing. Hey, are you one of those demon hunters? No. Makes you say that.
Don't be late for the party.
Oh, we get to see Trish's goofy ass jump. It looks so stupid, but it also looks exactly like it did in the first
Yep.
game, so I think it's intentional.
This is gonna get ugly.
Yeah.
It just sort of floats up like PS1 style. Love it.
There's no more pizza!
It's the worst.
That's
pizza.
my motivation.
So they actually get different like opening and ending scenes, so thanks for this game. This is really great. Good splash screen for the intro. Thanks guys. Solid.
Test.
Nailed it.
Let's do this mission is the worst. Doing the battle, the window battle with Agnes as Lady is the worst thing. The good news is she has a grapple that will launch the swords into the window. The bad news is it's still the worst thing in the world. To do it on a hard difficulty, it is the least pleasant thing. It honestly might be the worst fight in the whole series. To fight that fight as Lady, it's really bad. But let's do the same mission I was just doing.
I like Don's Walker. His comment. No pizza! No pizza.
So I think that is going to be the last thing I show off tonight. I'll show Trish off next time. I really fucking like Lady. She is a really good character to play as. Which I'm glad, because she was already like my favorite character in the series.
She's pretty great.
But basically, here, I'll show you her melees. Her main melee combo is this. She can also do the spin attack. And she can end the combo with the spin attack. And if she's in midair, she will do this attack. And she can also do a dive attack. And that is every melee move she has. Those 4 combos, and you may notice they're really slow and unwieldy, and they don't do that much damage for how slow and like not long range they are. And the answer is that she is entirely based around guns. She's all about her guns, and she's got 3 of them. How did I set this? Oh, that's right. I made it so that charge was this. I rebound her keys a little bit. She also does have a grapple, which is how she uses like the grapple points from Nero. And also, if she grapples an enemy, she'll shoot it up in the air, and if she grapples an enemy in the air, she'll slam them onto the ground.
Cool.
But, oh, and she has one more move that isn't really tied to any of her guns. But if you hit back and attack, she will toss grenades. And the longer you hold the ability, the further she'll throw them, and the further they'll spread. So it's sort of like, and it also has a bit of invincibility. So it's a get out of jail. It's sort of like a setup. You can do that and then hit them with something else. But her guns are really, really good. Her pistols are pretty solid. They fire slower than Dante's pistols, but they do a bit more damage. And the charge shots are single powerful shots. She can charge every one. All of her guns can be charged up to 3 levels, which is what her HUD is. You see those bullets charging up? That is the shot charging up.
Oh, I see.
So the level 3 charge is very powerful. Level 3 pistol charge isn't really worth waiting for. But level 1 can be spammed. And it will juggle. If people are already in the air, it will keep them juggled. If they're on the ground, it won't juggle them. And her B button is the grapple button, but it's also like special gun action button. Oops, that's a terrible camera angle. Let's find a better spot to do this in, actually. I know the place. Oh, her double jump? She's not a demon, so she can't do air hike. So her double jump is just shooting a rocket at the ground, and it actually does do damage.
TF2 business.
Yeah.
I like her style.
Yeah. Oh god, I keep forgetting I rebound the shoot key. So I could do charge shots better. I'm gonna get to a place where the camera won't get in the way too much when I'm showing off the moves. Which is definitely not this room, because it's tiny. Maybe this room? This room would be alright. Even with the pillars. So, her pistols have a couple special moves. All of their guns have special moves. If she hits forward, she'll sort of do a controlled fire, and if you keep mashing the button, she'll finish it off with a charge shot. And you'll also notice that after she does any of her pistol moves, she tosses away the pistols and pick up new ones.
Just out of nowhere.
She can also do a juggle move, which will also put her into a state where she can shoot in any direction. And again, if you keep mashing to finish it, she will finish off with a powerful attack. Both of those are pretty good for long range. Her pistols actually specifically, at a certain range, will stop doing as much damage. They're specifically designed for medium range, because they will do less damage at long range. Her shotgun is, even just by default, way more powerful than Dante's. And it's got a couple special moves. If you hit backwards, she does the fireworks move that Dante has, but you can mash it, and it hits in like a huge cone in front of you. Oops, I wasn't supposed to do that one yet. Ignore the grenades. And the more you mash it, the faster it goes. 2 pretty absurd levels. If you get someone in a corner and do this, it's very fun.
Okay.
She has a gunstinger like Dante, only again, it's way more powerful. And it has a follow-up, which is amazing. If you mash, she will do a point-blank shot and slide away, which is both a really great way to get in and out quickly, and also does a ton of damage in a big area. The main use of the shotgun, though, is the charge shots. The way its charge shot work is you charge it up, and you actually, when you let go, you actually get charge shots for a while. And you can see that it stays there. Level 1 charge shots are okay. Level 2 are pretty powerful. But level 3 is really, like... Lady's actually a pretty balanced character overall, except for level 3 shotgun shots, which are absurdly powerful. And you can jump cancel them really, really easily, which I will show off once we get to the boss of the level, but it's a little ridiculous. It staggers people, it does tons of damage, it's so good that I rebound shot so that I could put it on the shoulder button. Her rocket launcher is actually a long-range thing. Wait, where are they going? What? Is that not a wall? That's not a wall over there. How about that? Okay, anyways. So it's just got a normal shot, and she can shoot it in midair.
You won't get away.
It's got this move, which can you actually manually target it with the analog stick, which is really fun and cool. And then you let go, and it'll fire a whole bunch of them. And similar to the fireworks, she can do missiles. Although it doesn't get better the longer you do it, but you can do it. I think. Oh no, it's got a limit. And it's also got charge shots, but for its charge shots, you only get one shot, and you have to stand still to charge it up. But they're very, very powerful. Hold on, let's hit this at something that'll actually explode. And its level 3 has a very big area of effect and does an insane amount of damage. And that's all she gets. So she doesn't have a bunch of moves, but she plays totally different. Since all of her moves involve her basically standing still at medium or long range, she plays completely differently. And it's instead of being a very fast-paced sort of combo everything to death, she's very much about sort of very careful positioning to do a ton of damage very quickly. And there's something she's just... Any room where the enemy spawn on the other side of the room is like, oh, okay, that's just free and I don't have to do anything. But she's got things that are really easy for some other characters are very difficult for her, naturally. Just show how much damage that does. It did more than 3/4 of his thing with one shot. And now everybody's dead in like a few shots. Oh, and instead of a devil trigger, she has a grenade toss, where she goes invincible and she throws a bunch of grenades around, and the more, wait, do I know how I don't have quite enough to do it right now? The more grenades she has, the more explosions there are.
Oh, makes sense.
That's usually, I guess, the
That's
science
usually
sticks
how
out.
that works. Here, let me hit him once more and I'll show it off. But it's basically like, oh, I'm about to get hit, now I'm invincible, and I do a bunch of counter damage. Ah, I'm not gonna get it. Like, this room's actually pretty awkward for her to fight in. If you fought hard... Well, you don't come back with her, but if you fought harder enemies in this room or a room like it, it would be very difficult for her, I think. Or it would be if Charge Shotgun wasn't just amazing. Anything that's hard, you can just use that. Which, to be fair, is pretty similar to the Nero that she's replacing, where if anything's difficult, you can just charge up his Charge Shot, and it's also free. I don't think her taunts are any good. Yeah, her default taunt is she laces up her boots and, like... Oh yeah.
Lame.
It's lame, and then she does a butt smack. I don't remember. One of her other taunts. I think the bonus characters only get 3 taunts. One of her other taunts is... Well, let me see if I can get it. It looks really, really doofy in a way that I think it's partly intentional, but not totally intentional. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. So she has a lot of moves that do tons of damage, but they all have lots of setup. And so it's pretty much just all about knowing exactly how long you can push it before you have to move.
I do like the the image, the shooting image. Like no matter how many times you do it, it remains solid.
Oh, I can show off my level 3 rocket launcher here, probably. Oh, you hit me, huh? I think I have enough time to charge up to level 3 if he doesn't jump over it. Yep, it's an insta-kill on this dude. It's an insta-kill on most of the normal enemies, actually. Even on this difficulty level, which is the hardest one. Oh, I should have done the taunt. Too late! I don't remember what her triple S taunt is. The game even's telling me I should have done the taunt.
I also like how the move just obliterates them, like they're just destroyed on a molecular level.
Oh shit, I destroyed them so hard that the new enemies hadn't spawned, and I lost my style meter. That's hilarious.
You won't get away. Here's a little something. Get out of my way. One,
Here we go.
three.
This sounds really long, so I probably won't be able to finish it. Let's see if I can finish it this time.
I just noticed the song said the time has come and so have I.
Yep.
Gross.
Yeah, that's a bit of a meme. Here we go. This is the taunt I was thinking about. Let's hope I can finish it. I'll keep the dude off screen. What is that? Animation! Just time for a little maintenance, and then, like, she just sort of lifts her arms up, and talks like, what is that?
Well, I thought she's like, time for maintenance, so she's throwing the guns away.
Right, it's
So-
just the way she throws them away looks super doofy to me. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, they just kind of fly out of her hands.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Because it looks kind of like she pulls her hand back and then stops, and then the guns just kind of
Yeah.
get scared and fly away.
Anyways, so if you charge up the shotgun to level 3 and then jump cancel off this dude, this is what happens. Whoa, what that's doing? Oh, he did a burning hell move. Rude. That's pretty much the only thing that can stop me from just doing that forever until he dies. But just to show off just how much damage... Oh, he's not gonna let me. Let's see if I can do this. Probably not. Nope. I wanted to show off the level 3. Do I have enough time? Probably not. Let's give it a sword. Oh, that interrupts it! Rude! I just want to show how much damage the level 3 does. Oh, he's gonna get me first. There's ways to set this up that isn't just like guessing. But, let me see if let me try one more time to pull it off, just to see, because I don't even remember how much damage it actually does. Oh, nice. Nice lunge. You missed that. Oh good, he's slowly turning around. No, he's not gonna let me do it. Sorry. But just know that if I charged up to level 3, it would take off, like, half his health, at least.
Conqueror of the bullet hell.
Here we go. I can do it here, probably. Oh no, he's still gonna give me enough time. Oh, yes he will. Oh, it's not that much. But that'll finish him. So yeah, she's not as flashy to look at, and she's got a lot less moves. She feels like a totally different game playing her. Like, Virgil and Trish feel like variations on Dante, basically, but she feels really, really fresh and new, and it's really fun going through the whole game with her. Except the window fight, which is miserable, obviously. But yeah, that's I think that's where I'm going to stop for tonight.
That works.
Okay.
I will show Trish probably next time while we're waiting for people to filter in. I'll show off Trish. I don't think there's a whole bunch of fun bonus content like there was last time, so next time I'll probably just show off Trish and then beat the game, and then we'll see whatever there is. I don't think there's very much. There's like a bunch of renders that aren't that interesting.
Oh,
Because like
no, no mocap, shitty mocap.
No, I mean, I mean, again, this game is
Damn
like the other games were really forging new ground. Like things hadn't been done before. This game's playing catch up in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like it is absolutely like other people are doing this shit. There's a new generation coming out. We want to be in front of that. What are other people doing? They have grappling hooks. They're going fast. Their controls are a bit looser. We should do that. We need a new character for a new generation. We should do that. He's got like a simple basic mechanic that you like. We should do that. Which is one of many reasons why it's my least favorite. It's just like, I mean, I liked playing it the first time, but like the first time I played Devil May Cry 1, I'd never done anything like it. And the first time I played Devil May Cry 3, I'd never done anything like it. And the first time I played Devil May Cry 4, I was like, oh, it's like a much better Gears of War, or God of War. Those are very different.
It's better Gears of War too.
So yeah, I'm gonna call it there. And next time I know some bonus content. I can show off some crazy frag vids next time. I'll find a couple and stream those because they're ridiculous and also have exactly the soundtrack you would expect every time.
Good.
Ooh. That's exciting.
Yeah. So anyways, thanks for stopping by. So we'll switch out.
Toast for toasting.
Nope, it's copyrighted. I'm hitting the stop button now.
Or for taxing.